so much though. I was like, bro, stop fouling all the time. But
Well,
whatever.
that's. I mean, he got
He
six
only
of them.
yeah he only plays when Bogey don't play. That means that David Roddy, you got to go, my boy. You
David
got to
Roddy.
go. Yeah.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 172 of the Splash Cast Monday Night Raw. I'm your co-host Reggie.
I'm your co-host Norwood, and I'm happy. I'm thrilled, and I have teams that have won. How you like that?
A little
Feel
blurry,
good to
brother.
win sometimes.
That's all right.
They hating. They hating. That's all right. You can hate because my team's is winning. I'll cut the camera off and come right back. Bounce back, baby.
No.
That's just hating now.
All right,
Man,
we here, man.
that's
Y'all
what
know what it is. When it comes to Monday Night Raw, we do our news around the culture, followed by our NCAA football, and then or college football. And then we also do our pro football and basketball until those seasons are over. Then we go basketball, and then once we get to basketball season, shows get short. Shows get short. We just finished watching the Hawks beat the Minnesota Timberwolves in Atlanta. Held the lead the whole game. Really didn't. Only lost the lead at halftime by 1 point, and then came back and got the lead immediately. So,
great. Another stolen win by the Hawks. Continue to steal these wins against teams that I think that are just better than us. But if we can get the W's, then take the W's because we need them.
You think they're better than us? You think?
I think the Timberwolves, yes. Well, their payroll says so.
Payroll don't really mean nothing. But Julius Randle, man, they don't, man. I hate that dude.
I'm also giving them time to figure it out too, because they did the same thing when they had Karl Anthony Towns. Everybody said, "Oh, they suck." Then they got it together and like, "Oh, this team is really good." And I understand getting rid of Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, he's playing well, but he's also going to be expensive, and Ant got to be the most expensive guy on that team. Second apron is humbling people.
Yeah,
That's life, though.
I mean, I don't. Well, we'll talk about it. I don't know if Ant stays there.
Oh, I'm cool with that too. And I love Dyson Daniels, but you can have it. Dyson, DeAndre, I mean, hell, Jalen, you can have whatever you want.
Nah, they would try to build around Trey, Ant, and Jalen. Those would be your three. Everybody else, y'all can all go at that point.
Rightfully so. Thoughts and prayers.
Risha, we like you too.
And I will still support y'all. I'm still a DeJounte Murray fan, but we about what we about, and we about winning.
Yeah, we cooking. All right, y'all. Let's get into our HBCU news around the culture, man. Had a whole lot of news this week. As you know, football season is over. Last week we talked about Jackson State winning the Celebration Bowl, giving a shout out to South Carolina State for a great season. All my SWAC friends and Southern University friends, y'all ain't have to come at me when I said that Jackson State was the best team in the SWAC and the best band. It was the truth. I mean, they kicked everybody's ass this year, and furthermore, y'all can say I was wrong or whatever, but they didn't started a petition to change the band director at Southern. So when that happens, somebody agrees with me. You could be in denial all you want to. I saw them. I was there in person.
In denial, the Euphrates, the Mississippi, or the Savannah, all the rivers, pick them all, and the waterfalls you used to. Pick your poison.
Yeah, man. So, but you know, once football season is over with, we talked about the transfer portal last week. We'll get into that a little bit. There's also the coaching carousel. Boy, Norwood is a Smurf. All right, now you good. Norfolk State made a splash. Dare I say, the biggest splash in splash hire in HBCU history, recent history, since Dion.
Absolutely.
Michael Vick has officially agreed to become the 19th head football coach at Norfolk State, replacing recently terminated Dawson Odoms. Congratulations, first off, before we say anything else, congratulations to Mike Vick for getting the opportunity to lead Norfolk State and his first head coaching opportunity.
Yes. Excellent hire. Hometown kid. Football. Black football icon. This is a great hire.
Great hire.
You got to put the things around him. But this gives you all the eyes that you need. This should allow him to recruit aggressively in a place that is notorious for creating athletes. And I'm going to go ahead and say this. Nike, go ahead and bring back the Michael Vick sneakers. Bring them on back. Bring back the cleats. Bring them on back. We 100%.
I mean, it's a proven. Dion is the case study. It's proven. It's back now. So,
and y'all didn't give the Vicks the love that they needed when they first originally came out. This is the time to sell them. That's like them Jordans at the end that came in the briefcase that now everybody wants. Same thing here. Mm-hmm. And it's state. You want to read
Vic released a statement and said, "I am blessed and humbled by this opportunity to lead, mentor, and transform the football program at Norfolk State University, a prestigious HBCU with a rich athletics history. NSU provides a tremendous environment for students to reach their full potential," laughs in Hampton, "on the field and just as importantly in the classroom. I am honored." They still get these jokes. "I am honored to join the Norfolk State family and welcome your support as we embark on this journey together. Let me say kudos to Fox." Don't really say that a lot, but to Fox, to the Fox pregame show, for allowing him to go on there in place of Randy Moss for that week, as we will talk about that later in NFL football, and giving him the platform to not only acknowledge him as a head coach, but also acknowledge Norfolk State, and allowing the other coaches on there like Jimmy Johnson to give him live feedback on air about how to be a good coach and allowing him to ask questions, giving him an entire segment from you, Fox. That from Fox is surprising when I'll get into it when I have to get some more stuff off my chest because I got to address some of them people. But shout out to Mike Vick, man. And as you said before, I'll let you take this one. Whole city pulled up for him in the press conference.
I also want to thank the co-host. It was Charles Woodson, and I can't remember who else was there, but they were prepared, had the Norfolk State hats on. Everybody put a Norfolk State hat on. I know that, eyes, this is what we're talking about. Clicks and impressions. What me and you, like, Mr. Reason, you have a podcast, everything here. You're on Instagram. You're on every social media platform in the world. This puts a million eyes on Norfolk State. This puts a million eyes on HBCU football. This is what we're asking people to do every day. So thank those guys for being ready, having the hats and everything there. I know that it may seem like a very small symbolic gesture to them, but it means the world to HBCU sports.
Meant the world to Mike too. Mike was up there. He was emotional and everything. So the whole city pulled up for him. Allen Iverson has done interview after interview. If you remember, Allen Iverson was the 3-sport star at Bethel. And he was there from 93 to 95 or 92 to 95, if I'm not mistaken. And then he played 1 year at Georgetown, came out in 96. So Allen Iverson was there. And then you have Ronald Curry and Aaron Brooks coming from that area. And then Michael Vick was there 97 to 90, 95 to 98, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in there. And then he went to Virginia Tech. So he was the next guy in line, the next pipeline in that area. So Allen Iverson has always been like a bigger brother to him, as he said multiple times. So for everybody to pull up and they stream this, shout out to Norfolk State. We always get on the MEAC. We get on all the schools. You need to get yourself in the 21st century. They streamed this. They had over 10,000 viewers looking at this. They had so many different media outlets watching the introductory press conference for Michael Vick. This has been, the MEAC has low key with Chennis Berry, the way that they've transformed South Carolina State, the media wise, they are doing well. They have done well. So shout out to Norfolk State and the MEAC, man.
Excellent job on this. And this is so iconic. Especially this is iconic for HBCUs. This is iconic for Black people. Like, this is one of those that just meant a lot to us as a people. You have, Mike, who got the job, Allen Iverson, and you want, especially these kind of places. The 757 is a college area. It's filled with colleges, and that's the basis of a lot of their economy. So to have these two legends to pull up at the same time, this is everything. Every place that I've been, this has been a topic of conversation. And that means a lot for HBCUs. It means a lot for Black people. And it means a lot for people our age. Iverson and Vic are it now. Like,
that's who we looked up to.
Yeah.
Those are the big brothers.
And they're kind of in the same category differently, but kind of like Ricky Henderson, they're everybody's favorite. Nobody's like, oh, I don't really like Michael Vick, or I don't really like Allen Iverson. That's borderline like blasphemous, sacrilegious from our era.
And we rally around our own. Both of them were kind of, they had their run-ins, but we felt as a people, that they were kind of railroaded versus if another demographic did the same thing. So,
the Matt Gates special.
Yeah, but
I don't know. He might have a different special.
That boy out there, that boy.
Delete. That boy is that boy.
That boy controlled, alt, deleted, and pulled his face back. Was like, y'all not even gonna know that was me in the picture. Had all that plastic surgery. But all right. So this is cool for the culture. This was great. Let's have a real conversation. Thoughts on the hire? It's an invigorated fan base. I really want to see who his staff is going to be. We have to note that he has never been a head coach at any level. He has said that he, and others have vouched that he's a good leader of men. Everybody will follow him outside of that one incident. He really has kind of been a model citizen.
Hey, Peter, let that shit go, fam. Let it go. Let it go.
So
let it go.
You got to answer two questions for him. What is his staff going to be like? For me, what is his staff going to be like? And is he going to be able to recruit? And is he, well, that's two. I really got three. And can he raise money? I think the raising money part is going to be easy because of his name, but you're dealing with NIL, and he's going to have to be able to recruit. Now, that's a fertile recruiting ground. We talked about it. They got Vic, Aaron Brooks, Ronald Curry, Percy Harvin, and that's just the people I can name off the top of my head. There's still 1,000 more people that came out of that. Cam Chancellor,
the Uptons. Yeah, it's plenty of everything that you need. Now, there are a couple things here. His staff, it's got to be strategic, but it's got to be excellent, and it's also the 757. So it's a difficult place to get people to want to. It's probably a difficult place to get people to want to live. But if you're a retired athlete, that's a great place to live. Between Charlotte and DC, you can kind of come and go as you please. Michael Vick, I think he's going to be closer to Eddie George than Deion Sanders. He's not Mr. Pomp and Circumstance. He's not all the rest of that. He's just a really good quarterback. He's just like a lot of people say, a great teammate, leader of men. I think that he should be able to put the right staff around him because he has so many people who love him so much and want to see him do well. And that's his area. That's his home. And as much as we talked about, if Deion comes and sits in your living room, you're going to play for Deion. Very same thing here. If Michael Vick can find a time in his day to come and talk to you, son, you're going to play for Michael Vick. It's that simple. Especially if you're in the 757.
Yeah. Now, Norfolk State, I need y'all because I'm going to say the same thing when we get to NFL for the Falcons and Michael Penix. I need y'all to just hold your horses. This is going to be fun. This is going to be exciting. It's an exciting time. Norfolk State in the last 3 years was 3-8, 2-9, and 3-8. He's going to have time to build this up. You may be able to expedite it a little bit because of the NIL and the transfer portal. You may be able to chop the time down on a rebuild from 3 or 4 or 5 years to maybe 2. But y'all going to have to give him some time. And y'all going to have to give him some money.
That's what I was about to say.
Donate. Go ahead.
That's what I was about to say. If at any point you're not happy with his production, ask yourself how much money you've given.
Yeah.
His success is going to 100% be tied to you giving money early and often. Now, this is what I will say, and I feel very confident in saying this. If y'all give a bunch of money, he probably can't fail.
Not if he hires the right staff. Yeah.
But what I'm saying is he is going to be able to get the players if y'all give him the money. Now, if y'all don't give him the money, then you just ask him to sell himself. Like, you're making it very difficult. You're basically just planning to coast on Michael Vick's name. I don't want y'all to do that. This is his first job. Y'all should be invested as much. You should be honored and privileged that he decided to come to your school. And I want to say this because he could have went. I mean, if Michael Vick really
Sacramento State, I mean, they were back to hire him.
Or hell, Hampton. If Michael Vick really said, "I have to coach at Hampton," right now, we might have moved heaven and earth. Now, did we mismanage that? Sure. I mean, I also understand we were kind of in a good space, but let me tell you, he picked you. And Michael Vick don't have to go to work anymore, ever again. So if he picked you, I need you to understand the best thing you could do is treat him like somebody who picked you.
Yeah, man. Give him 3 to 5. Because you're at this point, you also have, while I open up the rest of these stores, you also have you're in a unique situation. You have somebody that's from Norfolk. I'm not Norfolk, he's from Newport News. But you're from the 757. Newport News. He's from the 757 area. He's from the 7 cities. He doesn't have to work anymore. So you trying to entice him for more money to go to another program may be futile. Yeah. So you are in a unique space, Norfolk State, where you have the ability to have one of the greatest, most dynamic and exciting quarterbacks of all time be your head coach for the next 20 to 25 years, Lord willing, health willing.
And also he's bringing Elton Brown, who is
Scorpio.
Super Bowl. Yeah. No, I don't know if Scorpio's going, but I know that Elton
Scorpio's brother.
Who was a offensive lineman and a Super Bowl winner. So you're not getting one NFL, you're not getting one pro, you're getting
participant.
No, he won one with the Cardinals.
They didn't win.
Oh, you're right.
They lost to the Steelers. But
you're right.
He's a Super Bowl and NFC champion. Yeah. He's the 1% of the 1%.
And a hell of a football player at the end of the day. Call it what you
Shout out to the Browns, man. When I missed my flight at school, and I had to wait 2 days to get another flight, Elton Scorpio and his mom put me up in the house because they had us out the dorm. Put me up in the house, brought me some food, took care of me for 2 days, man. I'll never forget that. So shout out to Scorpio and the Browns, man. Good people. And that's what Vic's going to have, solid people around him. And he's already started with Elton. So we'll keep an eye out on that. You see us follow Dion. You've seen us follow Eddie George.
And now Teddy Bridgewater. Yeah,
Teddy Bridgewater. Follow all the blacks. Interesting story here. Because this normally doesn't happen. At least I haven't seen it happen this way. Prairie View A&M University has officially appointed Tremaine Jackson as the next head football coach for the Panthers effective January 1st, 2025. He has an impressive resume. He was named AFCA Division II National Coach of the Year. His previous job was head coach of Valdosta State, which was the number 1 team in FCS football. They made it all the way to the championship game this year and got upset by Ferris State, 13-1. His specialty is in the defensive line. He's a defensive line coach, and defensive linemen by trade. Why this is interesting to me. You normally don't see somebody leave like a Valdosta State and go to a HBCU. They normally will leave and go somewhere else. I don't know if I've seen, especially the number one team in the nation.
Either a coordinator or a position coach for a mid-tier PWI, and then after that you get your PWI, like lower
major
job. PWI job.
Yeah.
Yep. Then you. Yeah.
So right. I wanted to give Tremaine a round of applause just for the fact that he stepped out and decided to come back home to HBCUs and help out Prairie View. And if he's as good a coach as I think he is, which, I mean, Valdosta State beat Virginia Union this year. If he's as good a coach as we think he is, Prairie View is in desperate need of a jolt. And he can recruit. He's already got the pipelines open. He can get a lot of those players from Valdosta, from Georgia, to come over to Houston. He's got Houston connections. I think he's from Texas. So he's got a lot of connections around Prairie View. This is a great hire for Prairie View. Great. There's been some great hires at HBCU football.
Yeah, and as much as you consider taking the other jobs, there is a lot of peace and solace in knowing that, hey, I have a little bit more control over here. This is
that
the
too.
Output. I have control over what I can do, what this team can do, and I don't have as much, it's just that's really what it is. It's just control, being able to choose your own destiny versus somebody always being in the background. Like, hey, if you don't do exactly what I tell you, you know where you can
go. Yep. So shout out to Prairie View, man. I'm excited. Y'all know we gonna keep an eye on all of these things. More news in HBCU football. Shaw relieved their head coach, Adrian Jones. They terminated him after the 2024 season, and he immediately was snatched up by Elizabeth City State to become the next head coach. Jones served as the head coach of Shaw for 9 seasons, including leading the team to a 35-45 overall record and their first winning season in like 10 years. Had 3 winning seasons out of the 9 years. The last couple of years, ECU has finished 3-8 in 2024, 3-8 in 2023, and 2-8 in 2022. So he is there to try to build up that program the same way that he put his blood, sweat, and tears into Shaw. He should do the same thing for Elizabeth City State, because we've been covering it. If you go back, they've been kind of getting mud stomped now.
and that happens. Yeah, it happens from time to time. Him bouncing right back on Elizabeth City State really helps them.
Mm-hmm.
You get you a decent coach, and I think he's going to have a lot of things to prove. I think he's going to try to stick it to Shaw. So, yeah, congratulations. And I'm interested to see how this plays out.
Yep. 100%. And then, real quick, before we head over to NCAA football, we got a couple things more. Tuskegee got $1.5 million from an anonymous donor. And the check cleared. Unlike, no shots. No shot.
He gave you how much money? How much?
Isn't that what y'all doing, fam?
and it's crypto?
Y'all let him speak at the graduation with no teeth. He ain't had no teeth at graduation. All right, back on time. Tuskegee is celebrating a generous $1.5 million donation from an anonymous donor. A substantial contribution will support the university's athletics department.
Still on the blockchain, boy.
Allowing for continued improvement. They getting paid at Hawk Tua coins. For experiences, the student athletes, the band, and student government initiatives. So shout out to Tuskegee for receiving that $1.5 million. As they said, this basically adds 30% to this is a 30% increase to their budget for the year maybe 40.
Thank you. The collective, thank you. And of course, Hampton and Booker T and Tuskegee. Tuskegee is a school that means a ton to us. And the anonymous donor, you just reached down in your pocket, gave him 1.5 and said, don't even tag me in the photo. That's beautiful, man. And I hope to be that rich one day so I can do that. But I want the credit.
That means whoever he or she is rich enough to where they don't want you to know how much money they really got. You mean you got enough money where you can give away 1.5? Come on, hey brother, let me hit you up for give to this foundation.
Hey cuz, I'm black and I went to college. What can I?
Yeah, I get it. That's like that African dude that won the lottery and showed up as the Grinch. It left.
I mean, yes. It's exactly what I'm doing.
Speaking of winning. Hey, we covered this esports and kind of these sports and HBCUs that are starting to take off. Esports is one. Gymnastics was another. Swimming from Howard. Rugby, lacrosse over the years. We've talked about that at Hampton. So the NCAA esports in their inaugural season, the Aggies esports Rocket League team secured its first national championship, and they went 9-0 this year, and they won a video game playing national championship, which is fire because every school now has an esports team.
I really love this because my parents always said the video games had no money in them, and now look at them going to college on esports. Number one. Number two, they went 9-0, so they made everybody pass the sticks. Hey man, I play video games regularly. If you go in there and run the table, respect. At the end of the day, respect. You've earned it. Congratulations.
National championship, and there's nothing you can say about them too. 9-0, whooped y'all. So shout out, man. And that means the thing is about winning stuff like this is there's gonna be an abnormal amount of funding going into digital sports. So if you could keep winning, I would come out with the shirt. Pass the sticks. That would be the shirt. That would be my team shirt. Every time we win. I wouldn't put it on until we win, though. Pass the sticks. Aggie pride.
Man, yeah. Hey, there goes some money now.
Find that on the dot team.
We trying to send y'all some money.
Or you can find it on the Splashcast website. You never know. Right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Mike Vick. Shout out to Tremaine Jackson. Shout out to Adrian Jones. Shout out to Tuskegee. Shout out to A&T. We've come to the end of our HBCU News Around the Culture segment. We got a few things we're going to talk about in NCAA football. It's going to be a lot of yelling. Didn't address the people. I forgot. People. You know which people I'm talking about. Y'all trying to bring up Mike Vick's past and what he went through, and like y'all can't forgive. How y'all gonna talk about Mike Vick's past with the whole dog thing, and all y'all voted for Trump, a 34-time felon who said grab her by the yameen? Y'all voted for him twice,
and then he went and got Matt Gaetz, and let me tell you.
Matt Gaetz was so nasty. Trump, who grabs him by the yameen, said, I can't even have you close to me. And he got Elon Musk. So, President Musk. Piss him off. So, y'all gotta, if you gonna criticize one, I'm all for, if you be consistent with your views. Don't criticize Mike Vick and then give everybody else a pass. I forgive Mike Vick. I think he's learned. He's literally done everything you've asked him to above and beyond for retribution for this. He literally goes around and was working with PETA to talk about saving animals and animal abuse. He did that for years. Y'all got to let it go. You know what it is? Your racism is getting untucked. Tuck your racism back in.
But this is the thing for me. He went to jail, so he literally paid his debt to society. If you want that to be your answer. And for you people who believe what you believe, it's not really even your place to judge in the first place. So at this point, I'm not sure what y'all are here for or trying to do. He's been a model citizen. He made a mistake. He admitted his mistake, served his time. At what point? At what point do black people get to be done? That's the question. Because that's the only people who be held to their crimes years and years later. Y'all still ain't made Brett Favre pay no money. He stole from
Nothing.
20.
He maybe Mike Vick should have came out there and said my arm hurt. I can't remember nothing. Then y'all would have forgot about him or something. Maybe that would have worked. You know what I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Ben Roethlisberger, I'm gonna bring that up forever. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all never say nothing about Big Ben out there tripping down there in
Never.
South Georgia, ever. So
In a
keep that
place
same
you
energy
knew you didn't belong.
and went back.
What are you doing?
You were there
What
2
are
years
you
in a
doing
row.
here, mister? You're too old. Are you somebody's uncle?
Chester.
Y'all,
But
and y'all let him be do whatever he want to.
I mean,
You're old, mister.
now,
Go home.
now that I've got that off my chest, ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the HBCU segment of episode 172 of the Splash Cast Monday Night Raw. Go refill your beer. We're about to do a lot of yelling. I got some more shit to get off my chest. I got to speak to
I
a
ain't
lot of
yelling.
people in Alabama. I got to speak to some people in Ole Miss or Mississippi. We got to address some things because
See,
there's a lot of
I'm gonna
entitlement.
sit back and I'm gonna let Reggie run this because Reggie got a lot on his chest, and I'm just here for the vibes.
Well, it's a lot of entitlement. It's a lot of
If you
entitlement that's
if you
undeserved.
really look at my teams, Hawks just won moments ago. Falcons whooped the Giants, and the Gators won. I'm
Shout
drinking
out to
and
Billy.
thinking, baby.
Y'all stay tuned. Go get you another beverage. We're not going to disconnect the chat this time. I'm also not going to play no music because that's why it disconnects us from going live because it feels like it's copyright infringement. So, with that being said, y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back. I am going to turn on some music so I can listen to it. Go ahead and turn on the Splashcast master playlist or whatever, and we will be back shortly. Y'all stay
Expeditiously.
tuned. Y'all
What
stay
happened to
tuned.
that
Hmm?
short-lived podcast?
Oh,
Ti
you
and
don't remember?
Expeditious.
Oh, he said it. He was like, "Man, this was a job. This is a job. I ain't come here to be a job. Telling me to be here on time and stuff." I said, "Yeah, this ain't for you, brother."
It be like that. All right, all right, all right.
Y'all stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Damn, I've been in this shit so long, I done went from my boy to a motherfucking man. Don't wanna hear a young nigga tell me he can't do it, young nigga, you can. Just gotta get on your discipline, get on your focus, and stick to your plan. I bet you gon' run on some bands. That's what I'm gon' tell my son. Fuck what they say in the music, it don't make you tough, cause you got a gun. I know some niggas was living like that, now they out of here, them niggas done. Know some more niggas that's lying like they getting money, but them niggas bum. Bitch, I'm out here in the Hollywood Hills and I came all the way from the slum. Knowing ain't nobody telling you this shit, but Juicy gon' give you the facts. You gotta get up and work for this shit ain't about to fall in your lap. Doing all that motherfucking scrolling, you need to be thinking about making an app. My nigga, you young and you black, I'm just trying to make sure you don't fall through the cracks. Being a baddie ain't got shit to do with you showing your titties and ass. Being a baddie is using your motherfucking brains to get to a bag. I got a son and a daughter that gave me a whole new outlook on life. I ain't tryna fuck on my body, I'd rather go home and make love to my wife. You ain't gotta play with nobody, just stand on your 10 and handle your biz. My girl, you ain't gotta chase for nobody, they see it, they like it, they make you they biz. Myself, give you the game, you still gotta listen, you play with my family, you miss. My dog, we cover houses, they mansions, jump out of bins, just look at the ill. My boy, you ain't gotta play
And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our football segment of episode 172 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. NCAA football, what we're going to talk about. You all right over there, brother?
Nope, but I figured out for sure.
As you can see, man, it was college football playoff weekend, the inaugural kickoff of the semifinals. I'm sorry, of the play-ins of the 12-team playoff. We're going to talk about that. We got a few things we're going to talk about before that, though. Before that came out, some interesting news happened before bowl season really kicked off. I always remember like, follow, subscribe. A court. Oh, boy, I got the Thor. Boy, I got the Thor mug. Viking. Pass me some more ale, winch.
Reggie don't have to go to work on Tuesdays. If y'all have not noticed, the pod be going crazy, man. He be doing whatever he want to. Now he telling. I'm not gonna say that. I support women. I'm a feminist. I'm not laughing.
That's fine. You don't have to.
What Reggie was speaking about is a court rule that JUCO athletes can compete for all 4 years, even after playing in a JUCO. Formally before you get your 2 years of junior college, and then you typically have 2 years left over. That's always been a big thing. It's more interesting because if you throw in like the medical red shirts, you could potentially be in college. I saw one of the guys had it worked out where you could be in college 11 years.
This is the end of whatever amateurism there is in college football. NIL didn't do it. Transfer portal didn't do it. Having somebody being able to play minimum 6 years, maximum 11 or 12 years, a 31-year-old college student playing football.
Van Wilder, or what was that? Is his name Chance McCormack, who plays for Miami, the tight end who's been playing?
Is in his 9th year. Yeah, he was trying to come back. What
do you think about it?
I hate it. I hate that. I hate it, but I understand it because it goes with the times. It goes with the NIL now. Now you don't have to go for people that peak out at college. You don't have to go pro no more. You literally can go to JUCO and you can just go to college, get an NIL deal, and play for 4 years, get your $3, $4, $5, $6 million, and ride off into the sunset doing something else.
I am very happy about that. I have been a proponent for a very long time of letting college athletes create generational wealth, because the people who work for the NCAA will create generational wealth for their families. And if they can do it, then I think the college students have to be able to do it. Now, I know that a lot of people that I've spoken to have been upset, and they're like, these people are going to be old. I understand that as the knee-jerk reaction, but I want you to also look at how that really works out. Notoriously, if you're looking at basketball, if you're not a one and done in this era, people start looking at, hey, what's wrong with you? You have guys who are afraid to go into their sophomore, juniors. A senior basketball player now sounds crazy. So I don't think that this really means anything for basketball. If you play 2 years of JUCO and then go play 4 years of college basketball, bro, the NBA is not calling you. You're going to go get a real job, or you're going to go play overseas, or maybe the G.
I'm going to say NBA Africa will.
Yeah,
NBA Europe.
But for those
Spanish
players,
League.
the elite players, you're not going to the NBA if you had to spend 2 years in JUCO. I'm sorry. Now, I'm sure that there will be one guy who will be the one off to prove me wrong, and congratulations in advance. But it's not a feasible or reasonable path. Same thing with football, other than the quarterback position. That's the only group of people where I can see that this be feasibly acceptable, reasonable, and have some benefit. I can go play 2 years of JUCO. I can go play 2 years at wherever I want to, and maybe for whatever reason, I end up playing 5 or 6 years. But you're gonna have to be really good, and you're probably gonna get drafted 5th or below, and just have to make it. But you can stick in it. But if you're a receiver and you play 2 years of JUCO and 3 years in the SEC, and you still can't get it, they're not calling you either. So harsh reality. But this is nice, but this really doesn't help pros. This
It's
helps
not.
people
I
who
don't think this is designed for pros. Two things. It's not designed for pros. This is designed for you to be able to still be able to make enough money in the NCAA and the NCAA to make some money off of you too. One, two. The point about the quarterback is correct. You are seeing one thing we keep talking about on this podcast, ladies and gentlemen, is that the lack of development of the quarterback. You're either good or you're not. And they're only going to give you 2 or 3 years, and then that's it. There's been a lot of this.
They'll give you 6 games like they did Bryce Young, try to cancel you, and then you'll be good. And they'll be like, oh, damn, my bad. I guess I'll shut up now.
There's a lot of disservice when it comes to quarterbacks that need development, like Anthony Richardson and all things. Not saying Anthony Richardson should go to college JUCO for 2 years. He's too good for JUCO. But what I'm saying is it does give you an avenue to develop a quarterback. And if you're a JUCO, hey, your head coach should be a quarterback's coach. That's who your head coach should be if you're a JUCO college. You should have a quarterback's coach that is there to develop quarterbacks and develop them in a pro style and or the new style, which is the read option system, so that they can then progress and matriculate to HBCU, Division II, FCS, FBS, whatever, and be able to get a bag while they still are young and still can. So if you're going to do that, use this as an opportunity for development is what I hope for.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's really the only thing here is, get some more time for quarterbacks to develop, which makes sense because quarterbacks do need to develop. But for the vast majority of you guys, this doesn't do anything for you. You can, and I think that was the biggest thing for me is I think we kind of made a mountain out of a molehill. This is a very, very, like, outside of quarterback, I don't know where this is like a thing that could be good for you.
Offensive lineman. Offensive lineman play long. Those two. Tackle, guard, center. But if you one of the skill positions or you any defense, they ain't about to draft no 27-year-old defensive end. You are a linebacker. You need to be a safety. Yeah. You need to be a safe fullback. Something like that.
Or all right. Get you a record out like me and Reggie.
Hey, man, be a podcaster. Influencers. $530 billion out there in influence last year. Influencers. Get any of them. All right. Where we really wanted to go. College football playoff round 1 happened. Games were won. All games were won by at least 2 scores. Notre Dame beat Indiana. We'll get into the individual games and we'll break them down. And then once we talk about breaking them down, we'll then go into the quarterfinals preview. Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-17. Notre Dame beat Indiana 27-3. Indiana scored 2 times within the last 90 seconds of the game when, as you said on Saturday, the 12th graders were on the field. Nobody really was paying attention. It was never close. It was a blowout. Penn State beat SMU 38-10. Never close. Penn State's defense scored more than SMU's offense. Ohio State absolutely shat upon Tennessee. Shat upon them from the get-go. And then Texas pulled away from Clemson late. So the first round was just a first round of routes. What were you about to say?
No. I was just gonna figure out you want to just hit them all like this, or you want to go into each game and kind of.
Oh, we're gonna go into each game after this. After I get this off my chest.
Okay, cool.
Let me get this off my chest real quick. I want y'all to look to me in my eyes. I'm speaking to everybody that sings "Sweet Home Alabama" and everybody that loves to go home to Dixie. Alabama, Ole Miss, y'all gotta shut the fuck up. Y'all lost 3 games. I don't care if Indiana could have got beat 70-0. You didn't deserve to be there. You know why? because y'all lost to Vanderbilt, Alabama, because y'all lost to Tennessee. Tennessee got railroaded by Ohio State, right? Y'all lost to Tennessee. Then y'all went and lost to Oklahoma, who was 6-5, who was whatever, 5-6, 6-7, whatever they are. You have no legs to stand on. So for all y'all crying about the 12 best teams or whatever, you didn't beat a top. You lost to teams that were unranked. So y'all got to shut the hell up. Ole Miss. I'm not using this I am using this as a shot to take to Florida. Y'all gave Florida all the confidence. Y'all literally are the reason that Florida just signed 4 or 5-star receivers. Y'all are the reason.
That boy Billy went down there and stooped down with worn down tools and said, hold on.
Billy beat the shit out of y'all. And then took that momentum and now is going to be
Florida. He went crazy.
So
him right now.
y'all know, and then y'all lost to Kentucky. Y'all gotta shut the hell up. We seen how the college football playoff committee did. They valued losses over wins. It didn't matter who you beat, it's really who you lost to. Indiana didn't lose to anybody but Ohio State. Y'all lost to some trash ass teams. Y'all gotta shut the fuck up. It is what it is. Be mad.
I disagree there. And this is the reason. Indiana sucks. We knew that they sucked. They were never going to be good. So a complete waste of our time. SMU, very similar. Terrible. Did not belong. Not one of the 12 best teams in college football. And y'all got the better picks. I think of the teams that were available, Notre Dame and Penn State were 2 of the better picks. So, number one, strength of schedule has got to be a thing, or you're going to ruin college football. You're going to 100% ruin it if you don't make it a thing.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
There is going to have to be some type of reseeding process here. And I know the BCS is going to be like, oh, funny story. But this was unacceptable. You can also throw Clemson in there. Clemson has 3 SEC. This is Clemson's 3rd SEC loss. So, I mean, I think that some of the teams that Alabama and Ole Miss lost to, I think the Indiana SMU lose to 100%. Say what you want to about Vanderbilt. I think the Vanderbilt makes Indiana and SMU sweat. Hell, I think Georgia Tech makes Indiana and SMU sweat, honestly. And I think that Miami's better than Indiana and SMU.
I think SMU beat Georgia Tech this year. If they played them. They may not have played them. But if they did play, they won. SMU only lost to BYU.
They schedule week
it was weak. But at the same time, bro, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all didn't want the BCS. You didn't want 4 teams, and you jumped to 12. Y'all got to shut the hell up. You can go and bring back the BCS. You can bring the BCS back. You can bring the BCS back and say, we'll use the BCS to do the seeding. To me, that's my answer to this. You have the champions, the conference champions, and once you have the conference champions, you use the BCS to bring in the at-large and bring in the conference and bring in the actual seeding. Once you do that, you've now combined the algorithm and the computers along with the college football playoff committee. That's the only way that this can work.
This for sure ain't it for a myriad of reasons. So let me tell you, this will never be it.
But you allowed it to go this way though. You allowed the Big Ten to have 16 teams and the SEC to have 6. This is going to be the Big Ten SEC Invitational. There will be no Pac-2. The ACC is never going to get anybody else in because they got mud holes stomped. And don't mess around and let it's basically, what is this? Don't let Georgia beat Notre Dame. Then it's just Big Ten and SEC. Everybody else is a placeholder.
That's what this is. Let's be real. Let's not make it anything that it is.
Well, then stop complaining. It is what it is. Either you gonna complain because you gave everybody else an opportunity, or you gonna complain because you only allowed for 2 conferences to dominate the rest of college football. Either way, you screwed. You damned if you do, you damned if you don't.
Oh, it's about to be the same thing in basketball. So you mad now? Stay mad.
Well, you got ACC. The ACC will be able to to weather the storm of basketball.
But the Big Ten won't. That's what I'm talking about.
Shit. Big Ten got
Let's go back to
Indiana?
that.
I don't know.
Okay.
But either way, y'all got to shut the hell up down there in Mason-Dixon line. Shut the hell up. Be prepared to play next year. Don't criticize people from the couch.
Hey,
I had to
SMU
shut
and
up.
Indiana.
Y'all told me to shut the hell up last year. My team lost one game in 3 years. Y'all told me shut the hell up because we lost the SEC championship. You can't get in. Y'all told me shut the hell up. Even though Georgia clearly was the best team in the nation last year. Clearly. They were better than Michigan. They were better than Washington, better than Texas. And if they played Alabama again, I say it again, we'll probably beat Alabama.
Hey, SMU, if you don't get any more calls, don't be mad. Indiana, if they don't hit your line, do not be mad. You went there, you got in the bed, got good and drunk, took all your clothes off and shat in the bed, my dog. Ain't no help for you. And pray for your recruiting class. You better hope they can hold it in the road.
Not
You
even
better,
recruiting
'cause
class.
I'm
You better hope they can hold the players you got. Transfer portal.
Because we can't do it here. We do not have the capacity. We do not have the capacity. That boy got whooped from the beginning to the end with the lower end. Boy, had you really let somebody get had y'all got to SEC school? Woo. They might have made y'all quit.
So this game started. Let's jump to Notre Dame. We'll go individual now. We got Notre Dame versus Indiana. Signetti was out there talking big trash. We beat the shit out of top 25 teams. He said it to the other coach's face. On pregame, he ended up winning the Eddie Robinson Coach of the Year award. They were going to congratulations to that also, because while you did get mud hole stomped and you got ran through, to be a first year head coach at Indiana and bring basically your best players from JMU and have JMU get to the playoff, whether you believe they got there or not, to be even in the mix is very, very impressive. Very impressive. So, as he said, y'all didn't think of us as a football school. Hell, they best alum in the last 10 years was Michael Penix Jr., and he left, went to Washington.
Right. Get right on out of there.
So, shout out to Signetti. At the same time, though.
Hey, you need to find a happy medium. You talking about you stomped the look at that. That's what the score really was, 27-3.
The score is 27-3 for those. With 1 minute and 35 seconds left in the game, the score is 27-3.
Yeah. You got monkey stomp, and that's just what happened to you. And well-deserved, because you talk crazy. Now, I also understand being who you are. It don't matter. I wasn't supposed to be here in the first place. So if I want to talk crazy, I'm more than welcome to talk as crazy as I want to.
And I gotta instill confidence in my team too, because they knew.
Sure. Just know you also gonna get these jokes. And as you see right here, they have total fraud calling, and they have the score in the top. Notre Dame 27-3. Scroll to the right. I think this is where they actually give us some facts. It is Indiana versus ranked teams this year. They were outscored 32-65. They're 0-2. Indiana against non-ranked opponents this year. 505 points, 138, 11-0, and their best win was against 75.
And that's the shout out. They need to send Michigan a fruit basket, because that's why they got in. With Michigan beating Ohio State and them beating Michigan, and that's why they got in. That's why they got in. I forgot they beat Michigan. That's why Indiana got in. That's why they got in.
Your best win beating Michigan is also super egregious.
Now, when Michigan beats Ohio State, that's Ohio State's worst loss.
Worst loss and best win is different. To me. The best. Anybody can be had on a day. But when you played somebody for real, you got whooped. And you said you stomp people out, which you just don't. And he actually went on to say that he thinks that a lot of the reason he wasn't ready was because of the teams that he played, which is convenient to say afterwards.
Say that again. He said what?
But he said that their competition wasn't up to par.
Oh well, sir,
But
that ain't no. No, you now Signetti. You can't go on there and say we beat top 25 teams, do all that, and then
nasty
come
Eddie.
out there backing up talking about, well, we ain't play nobody, so we weren't tested. You played Ohio State. Ohio State dog walked y'all. You know what it's like to get dog walked. They ain't forget that. And Notre Dame ain't did, and the thing is, even the way that this game went, Notre Dame did nothing special. They ain't run no trick plays. They just ran the ball to the left side of the line for a 98-yard touchdown. And once they figured out they get a 98-yard touchdown, they just kept running the ball to the left. Whole game. To the left, to the right, slant. To the left, to the right, slant. Line dance, break it down. Crisscross. They was out there doing the electric slide and the Cupid shuffle on y'all. Cooking y'all.
To the left, to the left, to the right, to the. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you guys suck. I'm not gonna put it any other way. You guys are not a good football team. You play in a weak ass conference, and you leaned on the everlasting. Congratulations on being in a bad conference. That's all I'm going to. That's your season in a nutshell to me. Nothing says that you guys are even. Nothing says you're a good football team. You played a weak schedule, and you did what you did against a weak schedule. I'm not impressed.
Not impressed. Part 2. Penn State, SMU. SMU looked like they just were scared. They had
like
three
USA team.
They threw 2 pick sixes in the first quarter, 3 interceptions total, fumbled. They had 5 turnovers, I think, in the first half. 4 or 5 turnovers in the first half.
Sometimes
it was 21-0 in the first 5 minutes of the game. 5-10 minutes of the game is 21-0. I don't care what Penn State does. They could have punted the ball. You weren't gonna beat them once they got 21-0. You weren't SMU. And I held out hope. I put in the group, hey, maybe because SMU scores a lot of points that they could come back. You know what they did after I said that? They threw a pick 6. I said, oh, well, it's over with.
Yeah, and shout out to Reggie. I won 2 6-packs this week. Everything he picked was.
I picked Clemson.
Yep. And the Texans.
Hollywood. We'll get there. Hollywood kicked y'all. Shout out Tank Dell, man. They were playing well till he got hurt. And that was that. But yeah, man, frauds. ACC, it's ugly.
And we knew this. When y'all went to 12, we said 8. Might be 10. 10 might be it. But 12 is going to have this every year. The 11th and 12th teams need to be seated properly. So when they get stomped out, it can just be like, hey, stomp them on out. Let's get on to the next one.
Yeah. I think Penn State, Penn State, and no matter what y'all feel about the games and the score, we all know that money is what really runs this. Before today, the college football playoffs attendance record was 96,000, set at the Rose Bowl. Penn State won its first playoff game, and they had 106,000 on campus in the game for this, and that was the record until Texas played, and they had 108. So it's the money, whether y'all feel some type of way or not, they just made all the money in the world off of this. This ain't going to change. It's not going to change. Y'all think it's going to change. Yeah. It ain't going to change.
And the fact that those college stadiums have they have stadiums big enough to hold 106,000 plus. They'll keep running that back. That's not going to change.
At $500 a ticket, absolutely. Absolutely. I made $5-10 million off of. I made $50 million just off ticket sales. Not even the contracts. And they get bonus money. The athletic departments get bonus money for going.
And then you didn't have to spend a whole lot of money in travel and all the rest of that. Oh, that's just money right into your pocket.
Mm-hmm. That NIL going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So Penn State crushes SMU. And by far, which we kind of knew what the best game was going to be. we knew the best game was going to be Texas versus Clemson. The Burnt Orange Bowl is what, or the Orange Bowl is what I called it. Burnt
We're
orange
not calling
versus
that the Orange Bowl.
the orange. Yeah, burnt orange
We call it the Burnt
versus
Orange Bowl. You can really call it the Bagger Bowl.
the Maga Bowl. Yeah,
That's what it is.
yeah. Dabo and Matthew McConaughey.
You read? You knew what that was there.
Two of the more punchable people on TV. Matthew McConaughey and Dabo Sweeney met at midfield before the game, and this picture for the audio experience is exactly what you would think of when you see when I say that Matthew McConaughey and Dabo Sweeney. Dabo, full trucker hat, Clemson sweatshirt. Matthew McConaughey, full Texas hat with the leather jacket.
Y'all know what Matthew McConaughey has on because he always has his outfit on. This is Matthew McConaughey's football / I'ma holler at your mama later outfit. And I think that he's having a wonderful time
The Cliff
being
Kingsbury.
an ambassador. Yes. Boy, if you get McConaughey and Kingsbury and some 40-year-old women, you're going to lose now. You're going to lose now.
You're going to get a scholarship, though.
Yeah. That's not all that's gonna be given out, but
and a brother
or
a sister,
or just a lot of text messages late at night.
Okay, back on it. So you had Clemson versus Texas. Texas won 38-24. They pulled away late. Clemson actually this was the better game of it because Clemson made it a game. They started out rough. And they ended up cutting it down to one score, and then they got a goal line stand because Dabo Sweeney and his offensive coordinator don't know how to draw up goal line plays. On 4th and goal, they ran a read option from the 1-inch line.
Well, what is our real expectation of Clemson? Trevor Lawrence
to be able to well, they won a championship with Trevor Lawrence, but to be able to run the ball in. Any expectation I have of any football team is to be able to get an inch. You should be able to run into the end zone. That's what you should be able to do.
No,
you can't do it.
The Texas defensive line is probably Georgia and Texas defensive lines are the best defensive lines still sticking around. You might not be able to get that 1 inch that you need. I think that you might be better off trying to uncharacteristically pass the ball or do something else. That's the team I would get cute with before I would just try to line up.
I agree. I would not have run the read option. I would have if you have a running quarterback that can throw in Cade Klubnik, who's actually hadn't been playing too badly the whole game. He didn't play bad. I would at least put the ball in his hand and give him the option to run. Right? You can run around because the line of scrimmage is the literal goal line. So I can do whatever I want to behind there. With a running quarter, I can run. I can Tim Tebow jump pass. I can do whatever I need to do.
Stumble pass. Hell, do something. Well, what you
but
did
just the read option and to run into big 6'6", 6'5", and 6'6" defensive tackles.
Good.
Ain't gonna work.
Good. That's ACC football.
Stupid. So Texas, and then they got Blue back. So they got my boy Blue. The running back Blue, who had been hurt, he came back and he ended up sealing the game with a 78-yard touchdown run.
Digital. And
his speed is crazy.
No fumbles.
So nope.
That was the biggest thing with him was the fumbles. And if he ain't fumble, y'all ain't gonna stop him.
Jaden Blue 107. Yeah. Go ahead.
Total yards, 14 carries, 2 total touchdowns. That is ball control. That is big plays, and that is scoring drives. Everything that you want from an offense and everything that you don't want from a defense.
Yep. Yeah, we played well. And again, Clemson. Now, if y'all don't get a call next year, y'all got destroyed by Georgia. Y'all got beat by South Carolina, and y'all got mollywopped by Texas. You're 0-3 against the SEC this year.
But you don't deserve it. We're tired of you, and you're a scam. The best thing that you had was Trevor Lawrence and Deshaun Watson. And I hate to say it, Watson was only good for a little bit of time in the NFL, and Trevor Lawrence stinks.
Well, I mean, you can't I don't like when you do that. You can't take somebody from college and what they did in college and then say, well, they suck in the NFL, so this program in college sucks. No,
No.
you're just an NFL quarter. You're just a college quarterback.
Yeah, and I agree with that. But what I'm saying is that's what they lean on, and overall, it's
They
just
were.
their.
Go ahead.
That's it for them. I think that those two came and went. Those are two blips on the Clemson lifetime thing, and you need to make them presidents and ambassadors because that's is gonna be as good as it gets, in my humble opinion.
But you talking about the players?
I'm talking about Clemson in the future. I bet you Dabo will hop his ass in the portal now.
He's already been in the portal. He got a quarterback. He already been in the portal. But
Better get back in there again.
yeah, I mean, but yeah, as you said before, even if he didn't want to get in the portal, somebody tapped him on the shoulder and said, "Hey, you better do something." And if you gonna put, the response is, if I'm Dabo, all right, I'm gonna jump in the portal. Y'all better get that NIL ready. Y'all better get it ready. You better be here on top.
He said that too. He said, "Oh yeah, Clemson getting ready some money now." Well, we gonna see.
Yep. And then of course, the shocking blowout. Everybody thought that this game was going to be a good game. Ohio State coming off of a loss to Michigan, and all of that. Ohio State coming off a loss to Michigan. We'll talk about you see it. Tennessee.
No.
In the JBP group, talking about Drake and Ack and all of them. Tennessee. Tennessee coming back, having a decent year, saying that they're back, beating Alabama again, almost beat Georgia. You know, I think they went 10-2 this year. Tennessee was supposed to give Ohio State a game. Ohio State was supposed to be a wounded animal. Well, let me tell you, sometimes the most dangerous animal is a wounded animal. Ohio State came out pissed off. They came out frustrated. They came out saying, we heard you, and they put up 21 points in 10 minutes and were off to the races and won 42-17 over Tennessee. Not only did they win 42-17, Ryan Day and Chip Kelly somebody came and said, hey, just throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith. I don't need you to do nothing else. All that cute crap y'all be doing, look, throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith and run the ball with your two running backs. And that's exactly what Ohio State did the entire game. Two receiving touchdowns, 6 catches, 103 yards.
It's amazing how when you don't do stupid things, life is easy for you. Let that be a message to all of y'all across the entire world. Be smart.
Don't make things complicated.
I want to give Brian Hartline another just moment here of respect. Conceptually, you continue to we just watched Njigba play his ass off. You just put Marvin Harrison Jr. in the pros. Jeremiah Smith, he might be the best player in college football right now.
He looks like Julio. When I remember Julio playing at Alabama, this is what he was doing. Catching the ball, holding people away with one arm, running them over, looking at you, scoring, not talking to nobody. Like, he's just a bully. He's a bully.
Murdering you. And, and I love Ted McMillan at Arizona. I don't think he's better than Jeremiah Smith, though. I think Jeremiah Smith is supposed to be playing.
He's 17.
He's supposed to be playing high school right now.
Him and Ryan Williams. Both them two. Them two look crazy. Them two. And there's another dude that's a freshman. I forgot about him at Auburn. He had a great year at Auburn. Auburn just sucks. And that Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams were so good.
I might be. Hey, Panthers. I'll give y'all my first round pick this year. Y'all give me your first round pick next year.
He'll only be a sophomore. You got to play 3 years.
Oh, my God.
You have to be 3 years removed from your senior year of high school to go into the draft. Larry Fitzgerald was able to do it because he went to a prep school. He went to prep school, then he went and became a freshman, then he played a sophomore, and he came out after a sophomore year.
I don't really like letting the young guys play with adults, but these two, let them go.
Yeah, boy.
Let them get on out there.
So the first round, to sum that all up, the first round. Oh, the North. Forgot about that. And Ohio State popping shit now. You know me. I'm big on humility. Now, Ohio State quarterback Will Howard heard y'all talking about him. He said, when people ask you what happened here, tell them the North remembers. Tell them winter came for the Volunteers. Quoting to the Game of Thrones. So I like it. You talking a lot of trash, Will. Y'all got a game next week, though, bro. Woo!
Yeah, I mean, this is cool for now, but yeah, you got smoke on the horizon.
Big smoke. Big smoke. Now, and you were the reason y'all lost that game.
You do all that talking about the North, and when Oregon show up and say, hey, remember West Coast Productions did this to you, then don't say nothing.
Oregon up there in the snow too. Now they the White Walkers. Now they gonna come out with all icy white. Watch them come out with the icy white uniforms just because you want to say that. Because they got the money to do it.
You haven't seen the Oregon Rose Bowl? Oh yeah, you know it. You know it.
Oh, there it is. Yep, there you go. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about the quarterfinals. You have Georgia versus Notre Dame. No Carson Beck. Carson Beck had surgery on his elbow. He is out for the remainder of the college football playoffs because he eventually is going to have to throw and show that he is able to participate in the combine to go pro. So you got Georgia versus Notre Dame in the this is funny to me, and it's a shot at the Saints. Ha ha ha. The old Mercedes Dome, the Caesar Superdome now. We took that right up off y'all and brought that to Atlanta. They will play the Sugar Bowl there in the Caesar Superdome. You remember the New Orleans Superdome used to be called the Mercedes Dome, Mercedes-Benz Superdome. It's no longer there. They came to another place. They upgraded, came to Atlanta. Been a lot of talking heads. Already saying that Notre Dame is going to smoke Georgia. A lot of them, of all creed and color.
That's the reason I put that right in the group too.
I said, oh, okay. I said,
I knew you was going to take offense to that. I said,
oh, okay. I wasn't going to take offense. I mean, Notre Dame looked good. What I've tried to do, I'm trying to be better at not being prisoner of the moment. They are part of the prisoner of the moment. What I will say is that Notre Dame's strength is Georgia's strength. Notre Dame's run offense is Georgia's run defense are the strength. Georgia has had 2 games where the running back went crazy. And it wasn't even the running back. It was Georgia Tech and the quarterback. And it was, that may be it, because they held Texas in check. It was one more game where the running back went crazy. Tennessee, who should have been in the Heisman Trophy finals, if you want to be honest. Tennessee. So you had 2 games. Other than that, Georgia's defense, who is now healthy, by the way. Defensive line is now healthy, by the way. You are going to play against a team whose strength is stopping the run and getting pressure on the quarterback.
But this is the other part is their defense, when it runs hot, the only thing you can do is run away. I've seen Georgia's defense be better, be more influential than the opposing team's offense, its own offense, and the opposition's defense. Georgia's defense just said, hey, I'm just going to just control this entire game. Y'all just shut up and watch. And I saw them do it. Can they do it like they did a couple years ago? No, they're not that team anymore either. But if they show up and decide to cause hell on New Year's Day, oh, Notre Dame. Marcus, I'm happy you paid, and I'm happy you work for a place where they don't have to disclose how much money you made.
Yeah. I will say Notre Dame, I still think does have the edge, and I can see why people are picking them at 55% to 60% of the people are picking them. Carson Beck is out. We talked about it earlier. You got Gunnar Stockton, who's made 0 starts. This is his first start in college. Now, he did play Texas in the SEC championship game. I always say once you get the shit knocked out of you one good time, it's all about playing football. All the nerves get knocked out of you. Well, he got knocked out so hard against Texas, his eyes rolled back up in his head, and I thought his leg was about to fall off. But he hopped right back up. What you going to see And what I said to somebody and who think they know football but don't know football is Gunnar Stockton is more like a mixture of Aaron Murray and Stetson Bennett. He is very athletic. He's very athletic. He can run, and he has a big. The thing that's different between him and Stetson Bennett is he got a big arm. He can throw the ball. And you saw in the SEC game when they took away the reading part and they just told you to throw it to him. He can throw the ball, and he can run. Now, as long as he don't turn the ball over, because that's what SMU did. Not SMU. That's what Indiana did. Indiana, every time they got in the red zone, they threw a pick or fumble. Every time. As long as he don't turn the ball over, and Georgia's more equipped to run the ball on offense. All them running backs healthy, every single one. It's right. 4 of them now.
And the demon is back.
Trevor Etienne.
I won't say his name. Man, I didn't ask you to say his name, Reginald. Nobody asked you for that. I don't even like, when I don't like people, I will say their name. I don't want to be considered talking about nobody. So I just be like, nope, I don't know who you're talking about. No need for you to say his name. But I'm gonna tell you, I know he was one of the best players on my team. He gonna make y'all have nightmares. Good luck.
And then we still got Nate Frazier, and we got Roderick Robinson back. And y'all don't understand that Roderick Robinson is 6'3", 255-pound running back, and he's just waiting his turn. He's just sitting back there waiting his turn. And I'm telling you, Georgia got healthy they're getting healthy at the right time outside of the quarterback on defense. Man, this is gonna be now you talking about some hitting. This is gonna be some hitting. This is gonna be some real football. In the cold, well, they're gonna be in the Sugar Bowl, they're gonna be inside. But Notre Dame, Georgia, they're gonna be hitting each other the whole game. And I'm going with Georgia. We ain't gotta have no Saturday morning live. Y'all know I'm going with Georgia. But it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun game.
For who?
Everybody involved. All
right.
It's 2 unproven quarterbacks. Both of y'all gonna have to show me that you can beat me with your arm. Pause, if necessary.
Yeah, you definitely. That's necessary.
All right, moving on.
Good luck, because you gonna need it too, because the house will be sent
every time. Engage 11, engage 8, engage 11, engage 8. Yeah, I would blitz. Next up, Rose Bowl rematch of the Big 10 game of the year, because the championship game was Oregon versus Penn State. Oregon, who is everybody thinks is clearly the best team in the nation. It's very difficult for me to argue against that.
Until proven otherwise, whether you believe it or not, you have to let them.
You got to beat them. They beat Ohio State. They beat Penn State. They didn't beat everybody.
Got to beat the man to beat the man. Got to beat the man to be the man.
So you got Oregon and Ohio State in the Rose Bowl 5 p.m. on January 1st. The thing about Oregon is I don't really know nothing about them. Like, I know about them. I know about, Dylan Gabriel, and I know about that team as a whole. But they don't have like last year or the year before they had Christian Gonzalez, right? Or no, he was at Arizona. No, he was at Oregon. They don't have any
Christian Gonzalez.
They don't have anybody to stand out. Like, there's no standout player on that team. There's nobody that you could talk about.
That is the better thing about that, and not being a top-heavy team is, hey, we're just a good team across the board. So you can't really zero in on one person to take out, or one side, like one thing. That if I stop this, then I got a chance to really win. Like, if you stop Georgia's running game with their current setup, they can be had. Now,
yeah, them receivers got buttery hands, boy. Ooh, yeah. They terrible.
That is a tall order. But if you can do it, then you can beat them.
Mm-hmm.
Oregon is like, hey, I just need to just don't get beat. And you're playing against a guy who's played a lot of football. Yeah. He's new Bo Nix. And, we get closer and closer. We're probably going to end up having the name Bo Nix Offensive Rookie of the Year. So, especially now, development at quarterback position means the world. And remember, y'all lost to them on a slide. So
yeah, he just didn't. Yeah, it's not like they blew him out. And they're going to be revenge-minded. And Jeremiah Smith, I don't know. That's why I said about Oregon, I don't know who. I don't know if they have a DB that they can just be like, go follow Jeremiah Smith. No, you don't. There's Georgia at least got two or three corners that can, slow him down. I don't know nothing, and that might be SEC bias. That might be geography bias. I don't know who's who. Shout out to the Cowboys. Appreciate it. Yeah, y'all did help us
Them
out.
boys.
Hey,
They them boys.
you definitely did help us out, Cowboys. Make sure you come back after we about to wrap up this college football segment. We're going to go talk about the NFL in a couple minutes. Stay tuned. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe. Appreciate you for tuning in. But back to Oregon versus OSU. Oregon, I don't know how they stop Jeremiah Smith. Now, Chip Kelly could trick himself off. He's done it his whole career.
Sure.
Him and Ryan Day, woo. So that's going to be interesting. Now, this may be the best game of the week, because you think Ashton Jeanty going to go off with Boise State against Penn State?
I'm uncertain. Penn State, I don't trust them. It's nothing I really love about this team.
Oh, they got.
But I will say Ashton Jeanty has played a lighter schedule, but he's put up video game numbers.
He played Oregon, right?
Yeah, but I mean, for the most part, but what I'm saying is this is one of their good team tests. I would like to see him be dominant in this. I don't know if Boise can beat Penn State. James Franklin, this is a game once again. You're Penn State. This is Boise State. You have to win this game. You're in a very unfortunate situation because you're technically the underdog. Are they the underdog?
No. Who, Boise State?
No,
yeah.
Penn State.
Penn State is not the underdog.
But they're the low seed. See, this is the reason that I don't like this. Because everybody knows that Penn State should be and is the favorite. So they
are the favorite. But it don't matter.
James Franklin, don't lose this game. Ashton Jeanty, see if you can go for like 400, bro.
Honestly, I want Ashton Jeanty to do well, but this is the equivalent of you about to get jumped. Because Penn State got a lot of good players on defense. You about to get jumped.
But this is also your opportunity to prove that, hey, I am who I said I am, and none of y'all can deal with me. And this could probably get you into, if you have a good game against Penn State, and if y'all win, this gets you into the upper half of the first round, I think.
Oh yeah, if he has a breakout game here, first off, because he already feels like he should have won the Heisman, and if he can go out there and prove it in the college football playoff, Dallas will be calling immediate.
Well, the Chargers gonna be interested too, but I guess Dallas will get to him first. Yeah, it's gonna be somebody else, but yeah, you can get to that top half if you go here and do it.
And there's another team that got a good running back in Cam Scatterboo, but let me tell you, this is similar to it. Texas gonna beat the dog shit out of Arizona State.
You better.
Y'all better not lose to Arizona State, Texas, and if what's his name, Cornelius, start tricking the game off, you need to put in Arch Manning. Go ahead and put him in the game. He's already said that he can run. You already seen that he can run. He can throw. He's made great passes and everything. Y'all better beat Arizona State. Y'all can't let Arizona State come from the Big 12 and beat y'all after y'all left the Big 12, came to the SEC. You can't have it.
That is unacceptable. But I think they get it done. I think that Texas understands the importance of this game. I think they're uniquely positioned to understand the importance of this game. This is the game that does it for them. So yeah, I think that
does it for who? No, they're expected to win this game. The game that does it for them is if they beat Oregon or Ohio State. That's the game. Because then and what would validate Texas's season is that they make it to the championship, and what would make them better and validate them winning the championship is if they were to beat Georgia. That would validate it.
That would.
You'd have to beat Clemson, then you would beat Ohio State or Oregon, then you would have to beat Georgia. That ain't nobody can say nothing to you then. Ain't nothing you can say.
And who gonna say it? I punch all of y'all in the face. I'm rooting for Texas. I honestly want to see Texas win the whole thing. I think that as much as I do, have a little bit of SEC bias, I also think it's fantastic to see somebody walk in. What the kids say these days: came in your trap, took over your trap. So I would love to see them kind of come into the SEC and
they
dump
rigged
it
the trap though. They ain't really playing no crazy schedule.
Yeah, but you gonna get it now. Whatever happened in the regular season happened in the regular season. There is no way that they get to the championship and win the championship, and anybody has anything to say to them.
Not the way that it was seeded. You can't. Now, but with that being said, I went back and looked at a little bit of Arizona State. Now, y'all better come and play now, because Arizona State like to hit you in the mouth. They don't really spread the ball out and throw the ball 100 times a game. They want to give it to Scatterboo, who feels like he's the best running back in the nation. And I think that they'll be able to hang with Texas for quarter and a half, 2 quarters. I think as long as Sarkisian doesn't outthink himself, I think that Arizona State just doesn't have the talent to stick up to Texas. Not this year. And if Texas win it all, you say you want to win it all. I mean, they got money now. That'd be the end of football. They just gonna buy everything.
I mean, ain't that what's happening in baseball anyway?
In baseball? Oh well, yeah. And you hate baseball. you hate it. You want to talk about your Gators? You can lead this one. Talk about your Gators.
Jeez. So, I did watch the entire game.
They beat Tulane, right?
We beat Tulane. Handily.
Record-setting running back at 450 pounds.
Yeah, they want him to score bad, too. They ended up letting the white running back score, though. I forgot his name, Shapiro or something. They got him one, though. This is just, and that's not his name. It's something like that, though.
That boy just picked the white name out the air.
No. Because when he scored, I was like, oh, I know what you're doing. This guy don't score a lot. You're trying to get him his touchdown, and I'm happy about that.
Trying to get that donorship money.
Yeah. But for me, this is why you don't put these other teams against SEC teams. And this is where the SEC bias is real, but it's real for a reason. Florida is realistically a lower tier SEC school right now, even though they went 5-1, 6-1 when DJ Lagway finally played. Just not a very good team overall for the entire season. I think they put a good second half of football together, but the first half was just not good enough, even though they played against a bunch of good teams. But this Tulane, they were not prepared for this. They went along for the ride of their life and could barely hang on. And this is where I get frustrated about everybody saying, oh, the SEC is not that good, not that good. Tulane would have struggled with damn near anybody in the SEC the way they looked.
Well, I mean, again, it's also hard for you to say that with bowl games. Tulane lost their quarterback. They lost like 3 or 4 players to the portal. Because remember, you got to choose between staying with your team or going into the portal. Staying with your team and missing your spot or going into the portal.
Oh, his name was Rubio. Rubio was it, not Shapiro. Rubio, excuse me. So I wasn't far.
You were actually very far.
I guess you're kind of right. But they just weren't ready. Florida's a better team. The defense was better. The offense was better. And, I mean, I don't want to hear about anybody losing their quarterback. Florida lost their quarterback. That was the best thing that happened to Florida all year was Graham Mertz got hurt. So, yeah, starting quarterback goes on. Well, congratulations. Ours is, too. And our coach was on the hottest seat ever.
No, I'm not going to let you get that off. No. Because everybody knew DJ Lagway was better than Graham Mertz. Graham Mertz shouldn't have been starting. Nobody said that.
I'm uniquely qualified to tell you that there is one person in particular who did not know that Graham Mertz wasn't better than DJ Lagway. And you want to know who that is? That's my head coach.
That's fair. That's fair. But we all
That's
knew it.
my head coach. We did not. If the head coach didn't know, then nobody. No. But this was just a good old-fashioned ass whooping. They scored 8 points at the very end of the game when the 12th graders got in the game. Tulane is not prepared to play against teams like Florida, and this 450-pound running back was great. It was fantastic. Katie Daniels, number 21, and I love it because my brother used to wear number 21, and it's hilarious that he used to be a safety, and this dude is a D tackle, but he is a monster. And you're making real life decisions even if you decide to tackle him at any point.
Who's going to be at the bottom of the pile? Like you just gonna have to carry me to the end zone. I'm gonna jump on the. No, I'm jumping on the back. I'm not. No. Ole, 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 ole. I ain't about to be out there. You crazy?
I'm living to play tomorrow, big dog.
Man, I'm living
to fight another day.
Now I will say Norwood has been trying to get Billy fired for 2 years now. I told you Billy wasn't gonna be fired. I told you everything I said came true. Literally everything. He's going to win just enough for you to not fire him. He's going to get blown out against. We knew he was going to get blown out against Texas. I said he's going to win one or two of the last games, the Ole Miss, the LSU, and the Georgia, and there was another game that y'all played, maybe Tennessee or something like that. I told y'all was going to win in one or two of those games. You won 2 of those games. Now, because DJ Lagway looked so good, Billy may have brought in the best receiving class in Florida recruiting history.
I don't know if I'm going to go that far, but it's one of them.
Rating wise, Florida is the only school to have 3 top 100 receivers in this class. Vernell Brown, number 34 receiver, Dallas Wilson, who decommitted from Oregon to come to Florida.
Was dapping him up at the game. I said, "Oh wait, why are they watching? There's cameras everywhere watching everybody."
Yeah, Nashawn Montgomery, and they actually got 2 more. After this graphic came out, they got 2 more. And I said this, and I told you, I said Florida, Billy Napier is going to get a hell of a recruiting class because I've seen this. Georgia had the number 1 recruiting class, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 3, number 4, number 3, number 4, number 5. And then we get into the games and we run bubble screens, or we ran the Georgia version of the Billy bubble screen was the Georgia sweep, the toss left to the weak side of the field. We did it all the time, and all Nick Saban did was just like, okay, I'm just going to overload that side, and it didn't matter.
Now, I do think that, and I've seen it to a certain degree with Billy, he's done better with play calling. I think that Lagway's ability to do 2 things really well should save us, at least stem the tide. He has the nastiest stiff arm. Like when a defensive lineman is pursuing him, he gonna get you out of there. That stiff arm is gonna get you every time, and he still has a cannon.
It'll be interesting. It'll definitely be interesting next year. It's hard to say how good they're going to be. You can't really, that's the thing about the NIL and the transfer portal. You can't predict anything until you know where everybody is. So I'm not going to say whether Florida is going to be good. I'm not going to say whether Florida is going to be bad. I'm not going to say whether they're going to beat Georgia or anything. On paper, from what we see now, they have made a major come up. They should definitely challenge Tennessee. They should definitely challenge Tennessee next year. Easily.
Who's going to lose their quarterback? So yeah, that's the other part. There will
Who's
be
going to lose their quarterback?
I'm a believer. You think he's staying?
Yeah, they got paid $8 million. Better
get on out of there.
This is a contract now. This is a contract now. That means you got to get the money back. You signed a contract. Unless they tell you need to get into the portal, you had to. I mean, I'm sure you can figure it out. You got an agent now, and they got I forgot what they call them. They're basically general managers of the football program now. So I mean, they have those. So I'm sure they can figure out a way. But I wouldn't leave if I were him. They got a good recruiting class of receivers too now. So Billy out there now. We want to bring this up.
I have to say this. Billy has done a really good job for the last 6 weeks.
Which I told you was going to happen.
that doesn't delete me or make me like Men in Black flashy thing. Forget who you are, but I'm also gonna give credit where credit is due. You've done a really good job lately, and I don't have another answer for that. A lot of it I wish you didn't, but you have, and I guess we're gonna rock with that for a little bit longer.
Yep. Now Florida did lose edge Quincy Ivory. He committed to Jackson State. Um, if I'm not mistaken, Jackson State has either a coach or a player that's there named Callie James. And there is a connection between Florida and Jackson State, and I'm sure that was helping fostered or at least improved by Coach Prime as well. So shout out to Jackson State. Keep bringing in them commits because, I mean, they are rolling down there.
Yeah, and I have no issues with you leaving Florida going to Jackson State. Everybody can't stay there, and I know, especially what Billy's doing right now.
Now that is interesting because y'all lost the
Right.
other dude too, the other defensive end slash linebacker,
Yeah,
the white dude
Prince.
who said basically y'all
Oh,
need to no
oh,
the one that said y'all
I
need to
know
pay
you
me.
talking. I mean, he can go to hell. I can see his face right now, but I can't think him. But no, you
Jeez.
went to LSU, and we beat LSU. You're just going for the money,
Yes,
and okay,
that's where we are.
if that's what you're doing, just when we beat you, that's all I'm here. Pyburn, that's his name. I cannot, and you do that all the time. As soon as you say somebody's name, it immediately deletes from my mind.
I don't
Pyburn is who
never
you
know that. I
talking
never
about?
say the
Yeah.
name because I don't remember their name.
All right, congratulations, bro. You're in the playoffs. Not
I
33
didn't.
to
That
8
wasn't.
goes.
See, look
Was
at you.
it?
You sensitive. That wasn't a shot. I don't. I was
I
talking
am
about in
sensitive.
general.
I'm sensitive. I am sensitive. This cut is new. I'm still bleeding. I need Neosporin and a bad aid.
Is it new? How?
But
When last time y'all been good?
Falcons.
All right,
Falcons.
ladies and gentlemen, we come to the end of the NCAA football segment. We're gonna take you on. Let me take 30 seconds. Let me refill my beer, and then we'll be back for Victory Monday. Victory Monday NFL segment. My Atlanta Falcons got it done against a team that we were supposed to beat. And if you're a Falcons fan, you know that sometimes, a lot of times, we don't beat the
That
teams we're
don't mean
supposed to beat.
nothing.
So
I think
you
they be
could.
looking at us like, oh, they think they're supposed to beat us.
So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, y'all go get a beverage. You don't got to go to work tomorrow or you don't got to try. Either way, go get your beverage. If
Heavy
that's
on
not your
that.
vice, get your little cigar, whatever you put in it, you put in it. You know what I mean? Or get your little candy, whatever you need to do to get relaxed and mellow. Have fun. We'll be right back in 2-3 minutes. I promise. Won't be gone long. Y'all stay tuned.
Right back.
Splash Cast episode soundtrack curated by Norwood. That's what you're listening to. You ready? And we're back, ladies and gentlemen, with our NFL segment of episode 172 of the Splashcast Monday Night Raw. Happy holidays. Make sure y'all like, follow, and subscribe. Got a few things we're going to talk about today. First off, before we get into these Falcons and this Victory Monday, before we get into this playoff seeding and scenarios, before we do all of those things, we want to go ahead and wish Randy Moss T's and P's. Randy Moss posted this after it was revealed that he had a bout of cancer that he beat. I believe it was cancer of the pancreas, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Either that or the kidney. I can't remember exactly. And there's not been the most information provided on exactly what. And I'm fine with that because it ain't our business. At the end of the day, the only thing that matters is we hope that Randy heals up and gets better. The reason that this was important to me is, if y'all remember when Randy was originally drafted, they had one of the greatest wide receiver groups I've ever seen put together. Chris Carter, one of my personal favorites, one of the, I think, top 10 receivers of all time. Jake Reed, elite wide receiver 2, and Randy Moss.
Grambling State.
Yes. They were famously known as 3 Deep because they were 3 murderers. And to see Jake Reed and and Chris Carter come out and celebrate Randy Moss, man, this meant the world to me. As an NFL 2K player back in the day, this is one of my favorite teams. This is an old Mad team with Robert Smith.
Dreamcast.
Right,
Robert Smith play action pass to throw deep to Randy Moss. All you had to do, or run the ball.
I ain't seen Jake Reed in a month of Sundays. To see him come out and do this for Randy Moss meant the world to me. And y'all know Randy Moss, Ricky Henderson, Deion Sanders. These are people we grew up as far as icons. Yeah, man, and yeah, to show up. Like, it's one thing to tell somebody, hey, all of this, to actually show up for somebody, and then also Justin Jefferson. We're playing the video now. He basically dedicated the first touchdown he caught last week to Randy Moss. That was beautiful, man. Excellent.
Yeah, classy move by Minnesota as well.
Black men showing up for each other, man. That's dope. We got
classy move by the organization of Minnesota. Classy move by the NFL. Classy move, classy all the way around. And we're happy that Randy Moss is on the other side of this. And hopefully he stays on the other side of this. Shout out to Randy. All right. These Falcons did what they were supposed to do. The Falcons played the New York Football Giants, who are in a battle for first pick, not first place.
Not even close.
I think the Giants are now 2-12, or they're somewhere in there.
They're 10 types of terrible for sure.
So we played the Giants, and the thing about this game was, not only did we start our rookie, controversial, as I've learned, our controversial pick at number 8, we started rookie Michael Penix Jr., and basically this was his first start after benching Kirk Cousins. So with that being said, there's a lot of places we can go. First off, shout out to the Falcons. We won. I do like that Kirk Cousins, which we kind of knew because this is who he is now. This is his persona, is being a classy guy. He went up to the podium after they announced that it was going to be Michael Penix for not even for one game. They said it's Michael Penix for the rest of the season. He said, I like to shoot elephants in the room, so I just wanted to shoot one. Meaning, he reached out to Michael Penix after the decision was made and told him that he is there for him to be uh, to be any help that he can. And he later has come out and said within the last couple of days that he will be the best backup that he can ever, that the Falcons could have in the league is his goal. So you had that aspect of it. Then you also had Michael Penix, who said he worked his whole life to get to this point. Classy guy. Didn't say anything when Kirk Cousins was struggling. Always kept his helmet on. Always stayed ready. And when he showed up in the Burberry with the Penix chain, with the Atlanta Mercedes-Benz Stadium on top of his name, dripped out, ready to go, and was feeling very, 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 very confident. So, shout out to the Falcons for winning. Where you want to start? I'll let you go.
There are a couple kind of different things. You kind of touched on them a little bit. Kurt has done the absolute best job of when he was a leader, he led. When it didn't go his way, he didn't play the blame game. He said it was me. When he got benched, he said he clearly understood why he got benched. It was because of the turnovers. The reason I say that, and y'all are probably like, oh, that's probably easy to do. No. If you haven't had a chance, Aaron Rodgers. Could have done what Aaron Rodgers is doing right now and is just destroying the New York Jets week by week by week by week. Kirk has been a class act. He said, like Reggie said, I shoot elephants. I went right in. All right, I'm the backup now. Let me call this guy who's a rookie and probably has all the controversy and everybody talking about him. Let me just call him and say, bro, it's your job now. And then on top of that, to come in next and say, I want to be the best backup quarterback I can be. This is the reason I'm a little bit more okay with paying Kirk Cousins. Because you also get this part on the back end. You don't have somebody who throws the team in disarray. You don't have somebody who's going to sit there with the stupid face. You don't have somebody who's looking at this point now that the season is over or could be over to start controversy with everybody at ESPN and make this team go crazy. You don't have, I mean, if you want to look at how bad this could go, look at the New York Jets. They're talking about Garrett Wilson might be one now, all of these things. I know Kirk didn't work out the way that Reggie and I ideally saw it in our head or anything like that, but this could have been so much worse than it actually is. You also paying Kirk to be the adult that he is, and I appreciate that.
I was with you till you said I'm willing to keep him on the roster at $65 million.
No. I didn't say that. If that's what y'all understood, let me be very clear. No, I'm not keeping him on the roster. And
You
I
just
guess we
said
could
we're
talk.
paying him.
Well, when I say keeping him on the roster, I mean like that's why we signed him. Is that when you sign a guy like Kirk Cousins, chances are when things, for whatever reason split up, he's not going to set everything on fire like Aaron Rodgers. But we can address the fact now that I've seen two different stories here. One thing is that we are going to cut him before March 17th to save $10 million, which would just kind of, I guess, bring us down to like $55 million dead cap space. I also saw that he may be considering retirement. Now, Kirk, if you really love us, you just retire, and then we wouldn't have that dead cap space. And
Yeah, well, you still have to. The cap space for next year is going to be there regardless.
even if he retires,
Yeah, it's guaranteed money. That's dead cap.
but
It's not
can't
going
you
anywhere.
can't you like stretch that money? I'm pretty sure if he retires, you can
Man,
stretch the
we've
money.
done the kicking the can down the road shit.
No. That's different. That's different. That's different. That's different. That's different. The Matt Ryan put it at the end of the contract. That's one thing. But if you retire and we say we're going to pay you over like 5 years, that's you're not coming back out of retirement. We're not going to pay you later. So Yeah, I would have to look at that, but I think you can do that if they retire.
Yeah,
I think
if Cousins retires, he'd be leaving a lot on the table, but he'd still be owed $90 million from the Falcons.
yes, but I think that $90 million you can do some razzle dazzle with that. I'm almost 100% sure.
If you would do a solid, if you're gonna do that, Kirk, and you think about retirement, which I don't,
I
we
think he
always
also
we always said quarterback is few and far between in terms of good quarterbacks. I am sold on the fact that he would be a good stopgap between your future for the next 2 or 3 years. But if you gonna retire, Kirk, you can retire and come back and be the quarterbacks coach. Work with Michael Penix. You are to live here. Your wife from here. You ain't moving no more unless you going down to
and I
Minnesota.
and I think that you guys, I think that they do have a good relationship. I honestly think that because I think that they're both two guys who don't really live in ego. Kirk has been Kirk has been a class act, good or bad. When he was winning, he won, but he was classy. When he lost, he took accountability. You know how I feel about quarterbacks and accountability, and he didn't blame anybody. Even though I think that, well, the other part about this is, well, let's put that to bed. Number one, Kirk, whatever you decide, you decide. And I would love to have you as a quarterbacks coach, and I think it would be great. With Kirk getting out of there has been a new turn. Now that you can't hate Kirk anymore because he's on the bench, Kyle Pitts is the new guy.
Um, yeah, I think I do agree that Fontenot was saying that this is phase two. I do agree that phase one was to get out of cap hell. Phase two was to sign Kirk Cousins for 2 years and then be able to then turn the corner to where you would have Penix, Bijan, Drake, maybe Kyle Pitts, maybe. And you would basically have everybody under 25. Well, everybody under 26. You would have your offense set. And theoretically, you just have to, not even theoretically, in reality, you just had to do it this season versus at the end of next season. But the Falcons have invested a lot in our offense. And to be honest, 3 out of 4 ain't bad. Bijan looks like he's going to be pretty good. Michael Penix, you're hoping he's going to be pretty good. And Drake London is good. So the only person that is
Pitts.
is Kyle Pitts. And Kyle Pitts just looks like he's uninterested with being with honestly, he looks like he's uninterested with being with the Falcons anymore. I think he's had so much instability at this on offense with this team that he has lost his passion and his focus, shown by this interception where it should have been a first down on fourth and whatever it was. Yeah, 4th and 2. It should have 3rd and 2. It should have been a first down, and he just caught the ball and then threw it to the defender is what it looked like.
I hate to say it, but Kyle Pitts. And
Gather your
I
things.
don't. Yeah, for sure. And let me be very clear. I was questionable about the pick when we made it, but I was fine. But when you see Drake London, who's willing to do all the things that Kyle Pitts seems very disinterested in doing. Excuse me, not Kyle Pitts. Drake London is an active seeker of the ball. If you throw the ball up near Drake London, he is going to do his damnedest to try to get it. He don't take plays off. He don't loaf, and he got an attitude about him. He really is. I don't want to call him a sensitive light skin, but you better not get over there playing and think because he's light skin he's soft. He will punch you in your mouth.
He's Mike Evans. He is Mike Evans.
For sure.
He is Mike Evans part 2 in every way, shape, and form. Attitude,
And
the way he plays, catch the ball, run, everything. But
he ain't no chump.
back to Pitts.
Hold on. Then you get to Bijan. Bijan's top 5 running back and not 5. I think that he's not better than Derrick Henry, but you're going to have him a lot longer than Derrick Henry's going to be able to stick around. He's not better than Saquon, but you're going to have him
He's in the Saquon
Probably.
mold.
Yes. Then you look at a guy like maybe Christian McCaffrey, maybe, but those injuries, he
Then
been
once you
he
start getting to them Achilles,
and both of them. So yeah, when you look at a guy like Bijan, if you're looking at futures at running back, I don't know. I don't think there's a guy that you want. I think that he would be the best pick for futures at running back. Drake London is a man, and Kyle Pitts. I mean, not Kyle Pitts. Michael Penix. It's early, but one of the things we've already seen him do is play a lot of college football. He's an adult.
played
He
6 years.
probably he. I ain't gonna say that, but
He
he
did play six
has.
years.
No. What I'm saying is he has like the demeanor of Kirk Cousins. I think that he's just gonna be better because he's a better athlete, all of that. But he's just he's classy and he's an adult. He don't do a lot of childish stuff.
Well,
You're not gonna worry about him being Kyler and playing Call of Duty and all the rest of that.
see,
Like
I think it's because he's had a unique
experience
experience. He
for
he
sure.
started out at Indiana. He wasn't highly. I mean, he was rated, but he wasn't highly rated. He tore his knees up every year, and then he ended up going to Minnesota and finally got healthy. And you were like, oh no, nah, he's really good.
Washington.
I'm sorry, Minnesota, Washington, purple, gold. Washington, and he ended up leading them to the championship game. And I mean,
He's an adult, man.
Michigan was good, but he also had broken ribs too, or bruised ribs. So I mean, he plays really well. So his experience, he's actually developed.
correct. And got 14 games developed as an as a rookie in the NFL versus being stuck in the fire. And now, like that's the reason I keep going back to Bryce. Everybody's like Bryce sucks, Bryce sucks, Bryce. Bryce does not suck. This team sucks. This coach probably sucks. This ownership group sucks. But you got to protect these guys for it. And that's exactly what Raheem said. I want to protect them as long as I could because I've seen what happened to these young quarterbacks, and it's not really fair to them.
Yeah. So, Kyle Pitts dangerously close to fulfilling the stereotype of being a bust. But let's talk about some positive things here.
Hold on. One more thing about that though is, I mean, maybe we can get him on the cheap.
Yeah. That was another thing I thought. I was like, you may be able to get him on like a 2 year, 20 million, $25 million, well, 2 year, $20 million deal.
Yeah, like
Especially if
hey,
you go keep that, having him and re-signing him on the cheap would allow you to keep Kirk Cousins along a little longer.
it wouldn't even be necessarily keeping the Kirk Cousins. Is that you sign this deal? You have a new quarterback who is probably helps you out. Now I will say we got to watch the game. When you watch the game, he also just not the guy that people go to. That has been consistent. Whether
Kyle
with
Pitts, he's
Johnu,
not explosive.
yes,
He
whatever.
doesn't.
I don't even know if it's not just being explosive because there is just safety in. I can go to a guy and I know he can make a catch. He might not like blow it open, but I know that this is my safety blanket, especially with a lot of tight ends, especially for young quarterbacks or older, less mobile quarterbacks. I can just dump down to my tight end. He'll catch the ball. We get 7 every time.
Well,
But
yeah,
he
he ain't never
doesn't.
been that. You better.
He ain't like that's the other part. That's the reason that you look at Drake London. When things get bad, throw the ball to Drake London. He gonna catch it. We're gonna get 7, 8 yards at worst. And after I saw Ritter do that, Heineke do that, Kirk do that, and then Penix immediately start doing that. Oh, it is what it is. Proof is in the pudding. They keep calling your numbers because they trust you more than they trust him.
Yeah,
And I think
Him and Mooney definitely. Because he went to Mooney a lot. He went to Mooney a
exactly.
lot.
So
Now,
you be
but
like you being who you are, you need to do some things to clean your image up too. You need a little bit of a rehab. So I think that it might be in his best interest to stick around and see if he can fix it. I don't know if he can, but you should try for your own best interest.
So let's talk about some positive things. The defense had 2 pick sixes. The defense caused a lot of havoc against this team. Now, again, Falcons fans. Yes, we won 34-7. Yes, Penix played, and we'll get back to Penix because I want to actually break down his performance in his first game debut. But the defense
Did the heavy lifting.
did all of the heavy lifting against the top lottery pick in the league. The Falcons defense had two
Nice.
pick sixes. Jesse Bates basically baited Drew Lock into throwing a pick six, and then there was a weird play where the offensive line for the Giants just didn't block anybody, and the ball got
They look
tipped
like
and intercepted, and they
It
just
was not
stood
banging
there.
with you, my boy. They just let you get jumped.
I'll say that Malik Neighbors is him. As bad as this team is,
Oh, he's Timothy,
he's
without a
him.
doubt.
I just hope he doesn't end up like Garrett Wilson, because Garrett Wilson, I was like, he's him too now. He's good too. But the defense played really well. The offense only had two, I think 2 or 3 offensive penalties the whole game. I think they didn't get their first penalty to the second half.
Penalties were fantastic. Thank you for bringing that up. We didn't make a lot of stupid mistakes. The, the offense played okay. It didn't play spectacular. But that's another thing is just don't give up the ball a lot. It keeps you in games that we were getting ourselves put out of. Just not making stupid mistakes, not turning the ball over, not getting penalties, and then beating a team that's a bunch of chumps.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get to it. Defense played well.
Fantastic. You got 2 pick sixes. Defense did their job.
Bijan Robinson reached 1,000 yards. Algier looked pretty good. They actually ran him in the first half, which I was surprised.
Which was nice.
What I will say about Penix's performance, they definitely were trying to introduce him slowly. And I understand now why you picked this game. If you were going to make a change, you picked this game because you were able to not have to drastically introduce a whole bunch of different plays. Zach Robinson definitely called the game a little differently with Penix after the first quarter. But for the most part, all the throws that Michael Penix made, Kirk Cousins could make. All of the reads and progressions that he made, Kirk Cousins can make. But the difference between him and Kirk Cousins is once he decided where he was going with the ball, there was no pump fake. There was no nothing. This is where the ball is going. Either it's going to hit you in the hands or it's going to go on the ground. Or, in case you're Kyle Pitts, then you'll shovel it to the other team. But his what I'm excited for is that he was reading from left to right and right to left. On the deep pass to Drake London, he held the safety to the other side of the field.
Yep.
And then snapped back and threw it to him. That, I was like, oh, okay. So he actually has the fundamentals down pat, which is really, really good. I'm looking for Zach Robinson to open up the playbook. You're going to have to. You're going to have to open up the playbook this week.
Yes. For me, I liked it. It was scary, and I don't like it from an offensive line point of view, but he got slapped around early. And he didn't seem to be shaken after he got low-key crushed a couple of them plays.
That's the one thing the Giants do well is rush the passer. The one thing.
Thibodeau was on his ass too, and it was chippy, but it was respectful.
Well,
Thibodeau's like, yo, yeah, oh, you're right.
Oregon, Washington,
yeah, and he was definitely trying to get him, and Penix was like, I'm gonna get this ball out of here. Now, I will say, receivers, pass catchers as a whole, you got to do better with the rookie, man. Y'all was dropping like
the first quarter. Jesus Christ,
he was throwing darts, and y'all were dropping them. And I'm like, I don't think that y'all would shake his confidence because I think it was pretty clear that the balls that he was throwing, pause, woo, woo, but it was just
Tossing them
accurate.
balls around.
He was so accurate. They
Football.
were right on your chest. And somehow y'all were dropping them, and I'm like, come on, man, y'all have to do better. But his accuracy and location was great. To see him be able to take a hit and then bounce right back, that was great. And then also one of those plays, he got shaky and he just got out of the pocket, picked up like 6 or 7 yards, and slid. And I was like, it's bad to say, but Kirk Cousins just could not do that.
Yeah,
And
Kirk Cousins couldn't move, and they ran play action, a couple times that you weren't going to be able to do that with Kirk Cousins.
And I think that's the reason that Kirk is probably considering retirement. Is that I don't think that you're going to get a better team than the Falcons. And if you don't get a better team than the Falcons, it's going to be tough for you to do anything on offense. The play calling is shaky, but the weapons are there. There's not a place where you're going to go where you're going to have this many weapons. And if not, right now, you look like your brain works good. You're going to go somewhere and they're going to scramble you like an egg, my boy. Best thing for you to do sometimes is know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
Yeah, I think, yeah. So, I did notice in this game that Kyle Pitts
one of them bottom tier teams end up with New York and just let people you saw the offensive line did to Drew Lock. They just fell down. How 2 offensive linemen just fall down at the same time is beyond me. But Kirk Cousins, they'll scramble you like an egg if that was you.
Yeah. So I did notice again, Falcons, and I'm not trying to be a negative Nancy, but they are still picking on our number 2 corner. Malik Neighbors was on AJ Terrell, nothing. They ran him to the other side of the field. Wandale Moore was cooking Mike Hughes. I was like, ooh. Now, DeAlford played well. DeAlford played really well. Mike Hughes, you might be on your way out, bro.
Yeah, that CB2 has to be addressed, but for now, it'll work.
Yep. And then, so how I'm gonna do this is all related to the Falcons, but we'll talk about the other games that had to deal with the Falcons and our playoff push. So as we go forward, first off, while I open these up, I'll give you an update on the playoffs. The Carolina Panthers are out, but they ended up beating the Arizona Cardinals and got the Cardinals out of there as well. Bryce Young, they look like they're gearing up for a run next year. The Saints just lost and were eliminated before the game and then lost 24-0 tonight. And then the Buccaneers played the Cowboys. The Buccaneers played the Cowboys, and the Cowboys did the Buccaneers a favor. They ended up winning on a last-second defensive play, 26-24. Why was this important? We're a half game behind the Bucs. We swept them, and we have the best division record at 4-1. But the Bucs had the best overall record. If we finish with the same record or better, we go to the playoffs. If we don't, we go home. So the Cowboys ended up winning 26-24. And I will say, shout out to Dallas for having some heart. This was like a playoff game. Like, they were hitting so hard in this game. The safeties, the defense, the linebackers for Dallas was hitting hard. Micah Parsons was everywhere. The Buccaneers were playing. The defense was playing their heart out. Vita Vea, who was disgruntled, and every time I see that he was disgruntled and nobody went after him, they got him and dropped him into coverage. And then he just absolutely destroyed the tight end. Now, this is a defensive tackle that is 6'4", 350+ pounds.
This is what nightmares are made out of. There's no reason for him to drop into coverage. If you're a tight end, you got your little out there, little wiggle route. You like, oh, I'm good. It's no way a defensive tackle is coming here to knock my face. It is not no juking for that. There's not a move for that. Let me tell you what also doesn't work against that: a stiff arm. Nothing. The only thing you can do is find him and run away from him. And especially getting a shot like that, they don't get enough of those. So when they get one, oh yeah, he's trying to crush you.
And let me tell you what's not going to work. Throwing number 80 out there. You see him in the background? He was supposed to come in there and try to stop number 50. Let me tell you what's not going to happen. Number 80 is never going to block number 50. That is never going to happen. Look at him. He's right there. He's looking. He's sizing up. He's like, what am I supposed to do here? I can't do it. I'm going to go after the DB that's not even in the picture.
Hey, Coach,
because Vita Vea ain't doing nothing. You can't do nothing
Coach,
with Vita Vea.
You can be mad. I know I can't do anything but get in the way. He destroyed them. You're right, though. The defensive backs for Dallas flying around and destroying humans. They caught
this.
They caught Cade Otton on one, slapped his face. And this is the thing. I kind of feel bad for Baker is the plays that he kind of lost it on.
He played his heart out, man.
Like played his heart out. This is a 50-50 ball that you just expect your wide receiver. You got to, hey, we're down by 9. I'm going to put a 50-50 ball up here. I need you to win this.
Well, this interception is what they call the interception that saved the Falcons season. Dallas was up 26-17, and they had pretty much dominated the whole game, but they could not pull away, and Baker started heating up. He had a 20-something yard run. He had a 15-yard run. He was cooking, and he laid a beautiful pass out for Miller. I think Scotty Miller to be that should have been a touchdown. McMillan, I'm sorry, for a touchdown, but it was actually intercepted by the Dallas safety. And the thing is,
just took it from him.
If they scored here, they were going to come back and win this game. I fully expected for them to come back and win this game, but Dallas's DBs took a sensu bean and they went Super Saiyan and decided to go ahead and win this game.
And I want to say this, man. Baker Mayfield I know I'm the only person who probably a Baker Mayfield fan. Say what you want to.
Not
he
anymore.
Ain't no chump.
Not anymore. He's played his way into the good graces of everybody now. I don't think he's hated at all anymore.
He is a footballer. Every person on his team who talks about him, they talk about him in the most respectful. Especially a quarterback where you don't have guys who are willing to be tough and really get into it. They know whatever it is, if we get into some shit, Baker's into it with me. And even the play that ended the game, he had to do the holding on to him. He runs through the guy, pitches, throws the ball to what's his name, and then he gives the ball up. Here it is right
White.
Here.
Yeah, so and I'm not even gonna blame this on Rachaad White, I'm not gonna blame this on Baker. Because they played a hell of a game and they were coming back to win it. That is just a great football play. That is a great football play. Baker got out of there. He was about to get sacked. He got it to Rachaad White. Rachaad White got off somebody else. They have one timeout, and he's just going to the ground. He's trying to hold the ball, and this guy decided after getting trucked, really, he got trucked. After getting trucked, and I'm just going to take the ball from you.
Yeah. It's a heads-up football play.
Bland, that's his name. Bland. Deron Bland.
Yeah, and it was so crazy because it just looked like no way. That's the same look that I had. Like, what? I feel bad for Baker, man. And
Baker was confused. He was confused. And look at him. And the thing is, this is what happens with Baker. And I think this is why he was forgiven, because of everything he's gone. He was humbled. Old Baker would have been yelling, cussing, and all of those things. New Baker, and why he's so loved is it's like, dang, man, he goes out there. Even, matter of fact, it was not when he got to Tampa Bay when he was forgiven.
The Rams.
Nope.
Won that
Well, the
round?
Rams too. The Rams gave him a chance, and he came out there and played well. But when you saw him do the mic'd up and the stuff in Carolina, when he was the D tackle and he was doing all those things for that team, and that team sucked, and he was out there playing his ass off. That's when everybody was like, okay, you got away from Cleveland, and then Cleveland never got better. And it was like, okay, so you got scapegoated. Well, I thought I heard somebody outside. I had to get the click clack. Late at 12 o'clock over here, bro.
Yeah. Oh, Christmas Eve. You thought you was finna come in here? Hey.
I've been,
Not
as I
today.
told my neighbor, I've been waiting.
It'll be an unmarried Christmas around here.
I just cleaned all of them the other day. They ready. Ready. But Baker played a hell of a game. But yeah, Dallas just played out of their mind. They played as if all of them were on the chopping block, which is they are. Except for Micah. Except for 3 people. Everybody else on the chopping block. And they played really well.
Are you sure? Are you sure it's 3 people? Because I wanted to ask you, and I've been thinking about this because you know Jerry does Jerry things. Is there a world where Jerry convinces himself that Cooper Rush, who's played well, Cooper Rush has played a decent amount of backup quarterback and hasn't done a terrible job. And Jerry loves Cooper Rush. And Jerry hates Dak. Is there a world where Jerry convinces himself that Cooper Rush is the answer?
I don't know. Give me 30 seconds. I'll let you know.
Okay.
We'll be right back, y'all. Give me 30 seconds.
Hey, you gonna pause it?
All right, y'all. My bad. Had a dirty diaper situation. Had a situation with dirty diapers. Dirty clothes and dirty diapers. Explosive, some might say. While we wait on Norwood to get back, we were talking about Micah, and we were talking about if Cooper Rush going to be, is there a world where Jerry Jones talks himself into Cooper Rush being the quarterback? My answer is Jerry better not be stupid. If Jerry is stupid enough to talk himself into Cooper Rush, you're stupid enough and you deserve the consequences that come with that. Point blank, period. The Noah will go take a crap. What do y'all think in the chat? Y'all let me know. back? You should be able to hear me. It's not me. I can hear me. They can see me. They can hear me. It's registering on the chat. Hello, hello, hello. Hello? Yeah, they can hear me. Come on, Norwood. I guarantee you it wasn't the chat. He just forgot to do something. Well, we're still waiting on Norwood, y'all. But while that happens, shout out to the Falcons. I can get off all my takes now. Now I ain't gonna be interrupted. Shout out to the Falcons. We got that win. Michael Penix, I hope he does well. Next game is going to be a hell of a game against the Washington Commanders. Shout out to all my Commanders viewers. Shout out to all the Commanders viewers. It's going to be a hell of a game for them. Probably his first real test, right? No. Well, ladies and gentlemen, while Norwood fixes his thing, we'll be right back. We'll talk about the Falcons versus the Commanders next game. Y'all give us about 30 seconds. Can you see me?
And I can hear you.
Yeah, every time you leave, I gotta set that. It's a digital monitor. So every time you leave, I gotta reset the digital monitor.
Yeah, but I mean, I was stuck. I don't know what happened.
Shout out to y'all for waiting. We appreciate it. We were kind of in a groove, but so where we left off was, does Dak get replaced by Cooper Rush? Fuck no is my answer. Fuck no. And if Jerry does that, it'll add more evidence to my he's senile type conversation, and they need to go ahead and replace him.
Yeah, for sure. But
Now you need to pay Micah though.
which,
And Mike is also lying. He says, if you're audio experience, we have a graphic that says, at that point, I don't think there's a big difference between $30 and $40 million. No, Micah, you say that till somebody offer you 55. You ain't taking 30 at 55, bro. You're not doing it.
And let me be very clear.
Not for 3-19.
Because I do think that he could probably talk himself into this. But let me give you a list of people who you should probably reach out to, have a short conversation, and see what they tell you. Number 1, Troy Aikman. Number 2, Emmitt Smith. Number 3, Dez Bryant. Number 5,
Where you going with this?
Dak. People you should call before you say their money don't matter. All of those people, when it came down to the rubber to meet the road, Jerry did not pay them, and they all ended, for whatever reason, not feeling great about Jerry. Remember, Troy was not banging with Jerry for a long time. I don't think that they're still not the best of friends. Emmitt, we had to see Emmitt play for Arizona. That was terrible.
He broke the record with Arizona, if I'm not mistaken.
Right. Dez just kind of got thrown out, and Dak has always had to fight for his money. So Micah, don't get caught up in this football foolishness. Like football is a lot, but this is also your career. Make a good decision. And there are too many people who've had unfortunate Jerry stories for you to just. You can do whatever you want to. It's your career. But there are people that are close to you who can tell you about their experiences, and that should shape and mold your experiences. Make good decisions with the information that you've been provided.
And there's too many other teams that would pay you. We talking about you. Somebody cooked the books to pay you, Micah Parsons, because what I saw yesterday, he was everywhere. They put him everywhere. Outside linebacker, rush in, middle linebacker, D tackle. He was everywhere. I mean, and you out there with no help.
Committed football player, playing to the best of his abilities, leaving it all out on the field. You can't ask for a player to do more than what Michael Parsons looks forward to doing. But don't get caught up in that, man.
Yep. So you have those games. So we'll wrap the Falcons talk up at this point, talking about us versus the Giants. We'll wrap that up. Shout out to the team. Hopefully we can do well moving forward. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers did us a favor. We talked about that. Oh, NFC dice roll. So now, because they lost, the NFC is kind of up for grabs. It's always been up for grabs. The NFC South's always been up for grabs. But the Falcons, basically, the odds of us winning the division and the odds of the Buccaneers literally flip-flop. I think they had a 54% chance of winning last week or something in the 50s, and we were at 40 or 30% chance of winning.
No, they were in the 80s because they just assumed that you're going to beat Dallas with Cooper Rush at quarterback.
Yeah, we had
So
24.7.
Like
yeah.
So
the Buccaneers are basically where the Falcons were. And honestly, with the schedule that they have left, we have one game. We have 2 games left. I think do we play Carolina again? It's Carolina and Washington, right?
Correct.
Carolina would love to do anything to put us out, and I think
Rightfully so.
they play Tampa Bay this week, right? Carolina.
And let me tell you, the Panthers are not the team that we beat earlier in the season.
And
They
what I noticed,
they beat the Cardinals this weekend, and then the week before that they lost by 1.
and then week before that they got beat by the Chiefs on a blocked or missed field goal or something crazy like
Right.
that. So the thing about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing against the Cardinals is this was the game that you noticed that they really missed Chris Godwin. That game against Dallas Cowboys, when all of those freaky weird ass plays and bobble catches and stuff was happening, they really needed Chris Godwin to dominate the middle of the field.
Right.
For us, I mean, for them going against Carolina, Carolina's peaking at the right time in terms of a team that's not going to make it. They are getting their confidence for next year, and Bryce Young is now very confident in his abilities to play in the league, which is the first thing a young quarterback has to do is feel like they belong. Us, on the other hand, we play this team in Washington with this quarterback named Jaden Daniels, who just had a game where they came back against the Philadelphia Eagles. Sans Jalen Hurts. But they did come back against the Eagles behind a second half comeback in which he had 5 touchdowns. And they won 36-33. Now the Falcons have to go play this team that's 10-5, where Jaden Daniels has the game-winning drive, 5 touchdowns, down 21-7. And you have to play him in Washington with the playoffs on the line for both of you, but for them, they ain't made the playoffs in a long time.
Yeah. And they've definitely found their quarterback. Jaden Daniels is it.
Hold up, before you do that. And Dan Quinn is their coach. Dan Quinn still feels like he shouldn't have been fired. So you have all of those factors, and Olamide Zaccheaus. You got former Dan Quinn and Arthur Smith hire who they are familiar with. They have Olamide Zaccheaus there. They have Cardero Patterson in Pittsburgh, along with other Van Jefferson and other receivers. So you have teams that are got a little bit of a bitter taste in their mouth for the Falcons that's played for the Washington Commanders. All right, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the Commanders that found their quarterback, they feel very confident. They beat the Eagles, which is one of the teams that y'all try to tell me was the best team in football. And it's interesting. It's going to be a tough game, but this is a game that, I mean, it's must win. It's a game we can win. And we need to win this game. And we need to beat Dan Quinn.
The Eagles have a really, really strong defensive tackle in Daron Payne. He's very difficult to stop. I'm not gonna let you say that smoke about the Eagles. Jalen Hurts got hurt. They were winning 21-0 when he got hurt, or 21-7. Then they put in Kenny Pickett. While I still think Jalen Hurts isn't a top 5 quarterback, I know that he for sure is better than Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, Kenny Pickett's 10 times terrible.
So, in the way that they built that offense around Jalen Hurts, once you take away the read option, the only person I got to worry about is Saquon Barkley. So, and the I keep making sure I don't say Redskins. The Commanders are uniquely qualified to be able to hang with the Philadelphia Eagles. And even with all that said, Devontae Smith dropped the catch that would have put them in game, that would have almost sealed the game. CJ Gardner-Johnson, his name is Chauncey. You got the wrong end of the
You
penalty.
got Bill Brooks.
I don't think you should have got kicked out for that. But your reputation precedes you now. This is who you are. You've been caught on tape, ripping the mouthpiece out of other players' mouth, instigating them, hitting them. And if you don't think that tapes are being sent to the league office about you, yesterday was evidence that tapes are being sent to the league office about you. You be on social media talking trash, losing your mind. The NFL, bro, and this is why you have to put some of these players in corporate America training. NFL is still a business. When you are not good for the business, they're going to get you out of there. When your reputation precedes you, they're not going to give you any leeway. If that were Devontae Smith that was yelling and cussing and all of that, they would have given him leeway because they know that's not his personality. You have no leeway. You got to be on your best behavior because you're too important to that team.
I agree with that, but also the phantom calls are the phantom calls. There was nothing there. You could see that he got the penalty, and the other dude put his finger in his face. Like,
hit his helmet off.
That wasn't straight. It's just bad. That was bad.
I agree. I'm not saying it was his fault that the penalty was on there, but your reputation and who you are and how you're viewed in the league is 100% you. That's unfortunate. So all of that to say, I'm not going to let you say that about the Eagles in terms of they're supposed to be this. There was a lot of things that had to happen for. This was a Dan Quinn win. We've been here. This was a Dan Quinn win. On paper, it looks great. You beat the number one team in the NFC East. You're about to clinch. You have the opportunity to clinch a playoff win. But when you go look at that game, you were down 21-7. Jalen Hurts was driving again, or 14-7. Jalen Hurts was driving again, and then he got hurt. Now the defense, Philadelphia, and Philadelphia fans who I was arguing with. Philadelphia fans who want to talk about all these things. Y'all ain't mentioned nothing about the defense.
That's what I'm talking about.
Terry McLaurin be kicking y'all ass. Mid, right?
Mid versus mid don't mean nothing but mid to me.
Philadelphia's defense ain't mid. They're not supposed to be.
Okay. Well, when you let the mid guy whoop you like that, you look mid to me. I'm going to let the Steelers and the Eagles, I'm going to let that play out. And the Ravens. Now, I think the Ravens and, but that collection of teams, I think they're mid for different reasons. I think that they could be had at any point, any week. Oh, and I'm just going to let it play out. I've made my opinion clear. I think that they're going to do a very good job of proving me to be right. And then I'm going to come in here and tell y'all. Y'all know that. Y'all know how this goes. Norwood's right, and he tells us, and then we were like, God, why do you always have to tell us?
I mean, okay. Jaden Daniels is having a hell of a rookie year.
He's it.
I admit I was skeptical. They were comparing him to Lamar. I was like, dude,
He's not bad.
I've seen he's not as dynamic as Lamar. He is leaps and bounds ahead of where Lamar was as a rookie passing. That game-winning pass, that anticipatory throw was chef's kiss. He threw that before Crowder even broke into the open part of the zone while being under pressure. That was pretty good.
Great. What I'm saying is there's going to be negative regression next year. Please prepare for that. And that doesn't mean that he's not good or any of those things, because that's what CJ Stroud is struggling with right now. There's going to be negative regression. Just prepare for it so when it happens, y'all don't act crazy. Now, this takes me back to what I tell y'all every week. This is 100% why white people did not want black people to play quarterback. And for you people listening, this is what Reggie has on the screen right now. Is the highest ever passer rating by a rookie QB. What do all these guys have in common? They're black quarterbacks. Dak at 1, RG3 at 2, Jaden Daniels at 3, CJ Stroud at 4, and Russell Wilson at 5.
Yeah, highest
No,
ever
no,
passer
no.
rating by a rookie QB. Yeah, and for him to be better than CJ Stroud had one of the best rookie seasons we've had in the last 20 years.
Correct. CJ
Um,
also had a yeah. His team was a little bit. Well, his team was a lot better, honestly.
well, that's what I was gonna say too about this. Again, when you bring a quarterback into a good situation, when you have established vets, you have a decent defense, you
And all of these
have good
teams
coaching.
came in with defenses.
Defenses, established vets. I think Robert Griffin had Pierre Garcon and Santana Moss. Like you have established vets at wide receiver. You have established vets. You have established offensive lines, and you have established defenses, and you're set up to flourish. So, um,
Yeah, Dak had the offensive line. Robert Griffin had Shanahan. Jaden Daniels. I would say that Jaden Daniels probably has the least amount of PEDs out of everybody here. CJ Stroud had a stacked offense and defense, and D'Amico Ryans. Russell Wilson had Legion of Boom and Pete Carroll. Jaden Daniels is doing this with a good defense, some decent receivers, and Dan Quinn.
oh, Brian Robinson Jr. No, he's a physical back. He's a physical back.
Yeah, but he ain't Zeke. Yeah, and he ain't Marshawn. And then
Yeah,
everybody else.
but he's a serviceable back who takes a lot of the pressure off of the quarterback.
Yeah, I think that Jaden Daniels is doing it with the most regular team, is what I'm saying. I think that out of everybody, if you like look at these and take into account everything, he is just the most respectable. I think he's doing the most heavy lifting.
He definitely is. There's definitely more weight on his shoulders for sure.
Because I mean, Robert Griffin, I think you're good, but Shanahan, we've seen Shanahan gonna do it everywhere he goes.
Well, Shanahan actually, ironically, is the reason there's the demise of Robert Griffin.
Well,
So
that's
you got
because RG3 went to the principal's office.
so you got the battle of the rookie QBs. You got number 2 versus number 8 draft picks. You're gonna have Dan Quinn against his own team, old team. We already talked about it. Falcons got to open up the playbook. Key matchups for me is how the Falcons secondary holds the coverage against the Commanders receivers. I think the Falcons can hold the Commanders run game in check. David Onyemata is a really good run defender. He's really good. And now that all of our other defensive tackles and linemen and that we've picked are starting to round into form, or especially with Lorenzo Carter back, I never thought I'd say that. Lorenzo Carter makes a huge difference on this defense. I think we can hold them in check running the ball, but we're going to have to be able to figure out, and you may have to unleash Caden Ellis as a pure pass rusher to allow him to get after Jaden Daniels.
He be getting it.
Yeah,
And he
he
got
one of
this
them
little
kids.
slide move where he just kind of gets you right off of him, and it be like every time.
We're actually kind of set up to play this team very well. But you're going to have to let Caden Ellis go run around. The best thing I've ever seen the Falcons do with him is don't try to make him think. Don't put him in space as a linebacker and have to guard the tight end and do the switch route and drop him in the flat and figure out. Just let him go run around. Just let him be athletic. They go let him run around and let him be athletic, and he makes plays. I think that we could play against them. And then, of course, our matchup is going to be on offense. Is going to be our offensive line versus their defensive line. We hold their defensive line in check. We score on this defense.
Yeah,
Pure.
I think that, man, let's be real here. We Falcons fans. I want to love and believe, but been there too many times.
We'll see. We'll see. We'll see.
Like,
Other news.
Charlie Brown.
The Chargers beat the Broncos on Saturday. Is what it is. Not really much to talk about there. The Chargers did win. I think they are now either in the hunt or they're in the hunt for a playoff spot in that wide open AFC. The Ravens beat the Steelers. The only reason I didn't really make this a big topic is because the Steelers didn't have George Pickens. I mean, the Steelers were throwing out there to you and me. They ain't had nobody to throw the ball to. Now, the Ravens did cut Deontay Johnson, who ironically is going to the next team we're going to talk about here in a second, is the Chiefs versus the Texans. But the Ravens and the Steelers, that's going to come down to it. And ironically, with Lamar having probably the best year of his career, I don't know if the Ravens get out of the second round or get to the second round.
Hey, man. Ain't my problem. I told y'all at the beginning of the season, if y'all don't go get a wide receiver, then I don't care what happens.
Well, they tried.
Hope
They
you can run the
tried.
ball. No, you didn't. You didn't.
I can't believe they didn't go get Denard Hopkins. I'd have made that trade yesterday. You let him go to the Chiefs.
Not my problem.
You let him go right to the Chiefs. That gotta be frustrating. We need a wide receiver. All right, who we gonna get? Oh, Denard Hopkins. Nope. Chiefs.
And I think he made the right decision getting over there near Mahomes.
Let's talk about it. Since we're talking about the Chiefs. Chiefs beat the Texans 27-19. Hollywood Brown is back. The Chiefs are back. The offense looked good. It's hard to say the Chiefs are back and they're 13-1. But they are 13-1. Hollywood Brown was figured to be a huge part of this offense because of how dynamic he is with the ball in his hands. You just have to make sure that he can catch the ball. Hell, they were giving him jet sweeps, shovel passes, and then he got confidence, and then they started throwing the ball to the deep routes and all of those things.
That's the reason I will never forgive the Cleveland Browns for what they did with OBJ and Jarvis and Baker. Just hand them the ball.
Well, the thing about the Chiefs with Hollywood Brown, this is what he does. You had Denard Hopkins as your one, Juju and Xavier Worthy as your 2 and 3, or whoever that is, Travis Kelce, Eric Gray, and another dude at tight end. You had to go three tight ends deep. Hollywood Brown comes in. Now all of a sudden, he and Denard Hopkins are moving because there ain't really no number one receiver unless you're Tyreek Hill in that offense or Travis Kelce. It's more of we just get the mismatches.
Has to throw the ball to.
So you got Hollywood Brown now moves. Denard Hopkins and Hollywood Brown are now 1 and 2. So you can't really key on both of them. That moves Xavier Worthy and Juju Smith-Schuster to the 3 and 4. Juju Smith-Schuster surely isn't a good number 2 or number 1, but he is surely a good number 4. Travis Kelce, now you can't double team Travis Kelce anymore. As slow as he is, he gonna still get open. And now you can't. There's no double teaming when Hollywood Brown is in the game because he's too fast. And if you double team him, then it's just Patrick Mahomes gonna limp for another 15, 20 yards on first down anyway. Him coming back puts so much pressure on defenses to try to figure out what's gonna happen, and Patrick Mahomes has complete command of that offense. Even the Texans, even though they won 27-19, their offense looks more in tune, and I expect for them to get better.
Yeah, and you just have a bunch of players who are used to this. They're used to, hey man, just kind of make it happen. Whatever Mahomes says goes. Y'all just got to go out there, make sure that you stand far enough away from somebody that if something happens, y'all don't get tied up. But outside of that, you're good. This is the best case scenario. So, I mean, for me, I do think that I don't feel comfortable with them continuously winning games this close. I just think that eventually your time runs out, your luck runs out, and then you lose. But until then, until somebody proves me right, I don't have a good answer other than it looks like they're gonna win again.
I mean, it don't make sense. You're right. It don't make sense. It don't make sense. They're not. They don't seem good. They don't seem good, but they're 13-1. To not seem good and not think that they're good, and they 13-1. I mean, you just got to sit there and see how it plays out.
You don't. I don't have a leg to stand on as far as saying that they're not good because they continue to win. So,
yep,
there's nothing you can do there, but watch and wait like everybody else.
We do want to send T's and P's out to Tank Dell. This game was close. It was a good game, and he had just caught a touchdown. And then Tank Dell ended up, and we saw it if you saw it in real time, you saw it in real time. They're not gonna show it, but he dislocated his kneecap through friendly fire. His own receiver fell into his knee. He tore his ACL and suffered other damage to his knee. Mind you, this is the same. He had a similar injury last year. I know it's the same leg. But he had a similar injury last year, not as severe, where he hurt his knee. Or maybe he broke his leg last year, right?
Yeah.
He broke his leg last year.
Remember, he got shot too. Like he's had a rough go of it, man.
And he is loved by the locker room. He is one of, if not the most explosive receiver on that team. Dell underwent surgery. And he's supposed to miss the rest of the season. In all honesty, if I were Houston, I would sit him next year too. We in December now.
Yeah, it's late.
10 months is November. 10 months is going to be October.
Favorite receiver and best friend, and he was shook.
Everybody was crying. 10 months from now is October, November, end of October, November. At that point, you might as well just wait until 2026 or fall 2026 for him to come back fully healthy. That's the best you can do. Now, go ahead.
No, I mean, you're right. I 100% agree. At this point, it's tough.
With Tank being out, they did go and claim Deontay Johnson. I do feel that with this loss plus Tank being out, this was a desperation move.
Absolutely.
Deontay Johnson, for whatever reason, didn't get along in Pittsburgh, went to Baltimore. You didn't get along with one of the more stable organizations. You go to Baltimore, which is another stable organization, and you can't get along with Lamar Jackson. And you're supposed to be an integral part of the team, but you act in the ass for whatever happened. So now,
I don't know if that was necessarily
Houston.
getting along with Lamar or if that was they weren't playing him and he wasn't happy about that. He wasn't getting into the rotation as much as he would have liked to. But I mean, you become an NFL journeyman in a season.
One season.
Real quick. Now, I will say that number one, you should be you should be humble by now. And also, as much as this is like, let's get him, this is also a move to let's not let the Chiefs get him. Like, I 100% say that if they don't claim him, the Chiefs are going to get him. This is the benefit to kind of losing some games. And yeah, I'm not letting you go to be with Pat Mahomes. Not a chance. We're trying to beat him. You know that?
Yeah, I hear you. I don't know. I don't think the Chiefs had room. I mean, he is getting close to being a locker room cancer stereotype. That's what he's starting to get to.
I think they would have figured out a way to make it work. I think the NFL is happier.
If anybody could, it'd be them.
Right. And I mean, and at this point, Andy Reid gonna tell you the truth. This is last train of parents, my boy. You don't get it here, you get it nowhere. I want to be very clear about that. So
spring ball, jamboree ball with
right.
the XFL.
No, you'd be right. I was just about to say that. You can either you want to be right or you won't go home. That's the two options you have here. You can come over here and act like you got some sense, Or hey, you saw it happen to AB? They don't miss you when you gone.
Mm-hmm. Take that
That'll be
health
you,
insurance away too. That CTE.
right?
Um,
They take everything away from you.
Lions beat the Bears. Not really anything special about that, other than a great trick play that the Bears did, where they faked a stumble. They faked a stumble, turned around, and threw a 60-yard touchdown, or a 30-yard touchdown. I'm
This
sorry.
is elite play calling, but this is also so rough that I mean Chicago. Like I kind of like this, but I kind of think to myself, why did you waste this on Chicago? We wasted a good surprise on you type of thing.
Well, they
So
stole this play. They stole this play from Green Bay or something like last week, and they just put it in the playbook to try it.
but
This is what Kansas
risk,
City do. This is what Kansas City do. They do some wild play every week. They threw the ball to the tackle last week. They used that play. They did a reverse pass to Penix Sewell 3 weeks ago.
you also got to know that you're not getting any pass rush for you to like fake the stumble. Because if you do that with Michael Parsons or TJ Watt or Joey Bosa, you be scooping him up off the ground.
Mr. Make America Great Again been asked since he wore that hat. I ain't putting Joey Bosa on there. Joey or Nick.
Okay. Think that if you want to.
But this was a great play.
Yeah.
This was a great
Y'all
play.
gonna be Falcons?
No, they ain't coming here. They ain't coming over.
Oh no, Atlanta's surely not the place they want to be.
Hell no.
Full John Rocker.
Batteries and all. So oh, you remember that? Let's talk about the playoff outlook.
Reggie.
And what? That was a funny joke.
It was.
So you got the playoff outlook, and then we'll get out of here. Lamar. Oh, by the way, Lamar said he's gonna watch Beyonce in the pregame and said don't care what the hardballs are
Who
saying.
gonna stop her?
Nobody. These are the teams that have clinched. AFC. So the Kansas City Chiefs, Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, Houston Texans, and Buffalo Bills have all clinched playoff spots. The Lions, Eagles, and Vikings have all clinched playoff spots. And in the hunt are a whole bunch of mid. The Falcons, the Rams, the Dolphins, the Chargers, Commanders, Seahawks, Green Bay, Bengals, Bucks, Broncos. I don't believe that the Colts are really in it, but they got them on there for this graphic, so I'll say it.
Yeah, they look. Yeah, Colts barely holding on. Dolphins, y'all going home. Bengals, y'all going home. Rams, y'all going home. Now the Chargers, Seahawks, Broncos.
You said the Rams are going home? The Rams that lead their division.
Are they the winner of the NFC West?
Yes, right now. 49ers been eliminated. They hold the tiebreaker over the Seahawks, and the Cardinals have been eliminated. That's why it's only them two in the running.
And they talk bad about the NFC South. I don't want to hear nothing bad about the NFC South.
Why? All the teams in the
way-
NFC West are better than two of the teams in the NFC South. Every single one.
I'm not sure the Rams are better than the Falcons.
The Rams are better than the Panthers. The Rams are better than the Saints.
I think the Falcons could be better than the Rams and the Seahawks. And I think the Bucks at full strength are better than everybody.
That don't matter. I said I think the Cardinals are better than the Saints. I think the Cardinals are better than the Panthers. I think the 49ers, as they are now, are better than the Saints and are better than the Panthers. 4 teams are better than 4 teams versus 2. 4 versus 2.
That's fair. You got a point. I'll give it to you.
But with all of that seating being said, it really don't matter. It really don't
At
matter.
all.
It's really the one seeds in the NFC that is up for grabs. It's the Detroit Lions, the Detroit hospital beds, the Detroit IRs, the surprising Vikings. I keep saying I don't believe in the Vikings, but every week they keep winning, and they keep winning. And then, of course, you got the Vikings. If the Vikings win out, they get the number one seed. If the Lions win out, they get the number one seed. If the Vikings win out, they get the number one seed. Mind you, the Vikings and Lions play in week 17.
Yeah, like this one could.
Then, of
And
course,
the
you also
unfortunate
have the
part
Eagles.
about this is the Lions have lost so many players. It's gonna be tough.
But the Eagles have to beat the Cowboys and the Giants. The Vikings lose to the Packers, and the Lions lose to the 49ers and Vikings, which tells me that that you can go ahead and discount the Eagles. I don't think when you gotta have 4-5 things happen, I don't think that happens. That's like a parlay. You gotta hit the parlay.
Don't stop believing.
So that number one seed, I told you the NFC was open. I really do think that the Vikings may end up getting the number one seed. Just because the Lions are so hurt. The Lions are so hurt. Like, they're really hurt. But they're so good. Yeah. They are head and shoulders above everybody else.
That is the tough part is if you're the GM, you're like, bro, don't ask me for nothing else. I put together the best team in the NFL. I think top to bottom, that roster is – and hell, look at the Jets. That's coaching, though. That's just elite coaching.
Mm-hmm. It is. It definitely is. I mean, I think the Vikings, if – I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions get it. If the Lions get it, I mean, that's amazing. With that team, that is amazing. But we're going to see. Now, Christmas Day games. You're going to get some more clarity in the AFC.
Oh, happy Christmas Eve. We done made it now.
Christmas Eve. Kansas City versus Pittsburgh. Baltimore versus Houston. On Netflix. I ain't really real excited about it being on Netflix, but we get to watch these games.
Oh, I am. Well, yeah, or I guess it don't matter. The reason I like that is because I can have my Netflix account, which nobody better be on, and then YouTube, and then I can have everything going because you got basketball going at this.
Got 200 billion games of basketball being played.
Not the Hawks though, so there's that. We get some.
Yeah.
Rest.
And the Falcons get some rest too. But this is going to be fun. Lamar's going to watch Beyonce. I'm going to watch Beyonce.
Wait, we got to pick those games.
Oh, yeah, because we ain't going to be able to.
No, hell no. It should be easy, though. I'm picking the Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs, Baltimore.
4:30 is tough.
Chiefs, Baltimore.
Yeah, Chiefs and Baltimore.
Chiefs, Baltimore.
Right.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Houston wins, and I wouldn't be surprised if Pittsburgh wins. But Pittsburgh without George Pickens, they throw. I told you they throw the ball.
They say he might play though, and he's crazy. So.
And he got but it's a hamstring. I mean, if he might play, that means he ain't full strength. So I mean, and in the cold, you playing with a pulled soft tissue muscle in the cold. Shit,
that is not advisable. Not advisable.
Oh man! But ladies and gentlemen, we are going to. You want to do basketball? I'm here for it. No?
Oh no! Tomorrow during lunch.
I won't be here during lunch.
Okay,
well, I don't know. I might be. I'll let you know. We're gonna take a break. We'll be back tomorrow, or for those that are listening to the recording, we'll be back. Y'all listen to some of these sponsors. As always, like, follow, subscribe. Norwood. See you tomorrow because you have to take us out tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, we'll take y'all out tomorrow once again. Thank you guys for being here tonight on this beloved Christmas Eve. You could have been anywhere else in the world. You came and kicked it with me and Reg. And yeah, we'll finish this tomorrow. And Chiefs, Ravens. Got those two picked. And then, yeah, I guess we'll probably pick some basketball games tomorrow too. We'll pick the Christmas basketball games. Let's do that. Outside of that, though, peace.
Pistons beat the Lakers. Peace.
Oh, that's great for the Hawks. Great for the Hawks. You know that the